What is going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. It's launch day. What? And I'm with
National holiday for bikers.
It is. And I'm with the two most qualified Harley owners ever to bitch about what happened today.
Yeah, it's exactly right. Actually, I don't know about you, Bert. I don't really have any bitching. It's like,
no, I actually enjoyed it, and I thought it was a pretty nice reveal, but I'm sure we'll get more into that.
Yeah. So DeBeard's going to cover the fashion, and then Monkey's going to cover the bikes.
Right.
I didn't see any
fashionista
on there.
I mean, I would have liked to have seen a 975 Pan America or some kind of new model or something, but I didn't melt down. Dude, did you watch the side chat?
Mm-mm.
No, I didn't.
The troll factor was high, and there was just like a stream of negative comments and wackadoos. But then just in general, people saying you should, where's this? Da-da-da. I'm like, I don't know, man. It's they know how to run a motorcycle company better than I do, because I was like, I don't know. I like the anniversary color. I don't know about the gold badging, but I like the anniversary color.
Me too.
The CVO, it's a bummer that they don't have more CVOs out already, because I didn't realize it was actually Mrs. who said, well, they said in the video there's more coming. I missed that. I figured there would be, but I missed him actually say that. Not a fan of the gold badges on the motor. If we're going to be critical, like on the CVO Limited, sorry, go ahead. No, on the CVO Limited, there's gold badging on the motor and the derby cover and the air cleaner, and the gold badge on the tank and all that stuff's fine. But I'm not crazy about gold on the motor, But the paint's pretty.
I think the paint's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I mean, the first thing I started seeing was your faction of people out there who are never satisfied unless they come out with some massive new motor that 131's in their stock, or you start getting all that. But I mean, it's just not realistic.
What cracked me up is how many people in the side chat were like, why don't they have the 120 out? And I'm like, it's not a 120, you dumbass. Like, you don't even know what you're talking about. Like, but the 117 of the breakout's cool.
Yeah, breakout looks nice.
The paint felt like the 22 CVO Road Glide paint, the orange, like applied, which I like that paint, so that's cool. I think it's cool that the bike came back, because I do think there's a place for the breakout. I think it's a pretty cool bike with ape hangers on it.
Well, did you see that Honda just brought out the Fury? They brought it back. I don't know if they brought it back today, but I thought it was interesting because that's the sort of competing look, if you will.
The chopper, the Fury chopper, that has plastic rocker covers on the motor and a plastic fender.
Well, but it's cheaper.
Better be.
You buy that Harley logo, slap it on. No one ever knows the difference.
I remember when we lived in St. Louis, that bike first came out. The missus really liked it, and I'm like, I would never buy a motorcycle with plastic motor parts. Like, I just can't. Like, the rocker, the chrome rocker covers were plastic covers that like stuck on the top of the motor. And I'm like, I can't do that, But if it's what you love, more power to you.
I thought it was interesting that they brought the rocker back. It's not something I would have thought would come back.
The Road Glide trike is cool. The hot rod freewheeler is cool if you're into trikes. I think it's interesting that the Road Glide trike is only available in the freewheeler format. So it's an air cooled motor, not lowers, not a tour pack, 2-speaker stereo. Like, I thought that was really interesting that they didn't go all in on the Road Glide trike. They just basically took a freewheeler and throw a Road Glide fairing on it. That was interesting. I don't know,
I thought the video that they showed of it was pretty cool, because they were riding that. At least they were filming it to be aggressive. I thought it was pretty cool, and I thought it was very interesting that the Road Glide seems to be very focused. Like, that was the first CVO. Now it's a trike.
Yeah. And Full Throttle Hog said it yet. I think mid-year has become a big deal these days. Like, it's almost as big as the model launch, right? Because And then you have the enthusiasts that they just throw out every once in a while, you know, out of nowhere. And so we'll get more CVOs. So maybe they're just trying to sprinkle it through the year, or there's production issues. Who knows, right? You never know what's making them have to, you know, hold some stuff, or because if they're doing that 975 Pan America, maybe it's just not quite ready. Never think of that. Like maybe, you know, like maybe they need a couple more months. Remember in 2014, there was no road glide because they weren't ready. So, you know.
Do you think though at some point that that's the way of? I mean, to me, I think it's good marketing, right? Because it gets you out. You're going to the dealer, and I actually thought I was a little pissed off when I first watched it, but I think the event, it wasn't live, being only 15 minutes was a good teaser to get you in the dealer without giving it all away.
Mhm. I mean, yeah, if you think about if on one day you just dumped, this is 2023, blah, every single thing you're to make, every model, every color, and then you don't have anything new for a year, that just seems like a bad idea. So it makes sense to like every 90 days drop something if you can. I don't know, like it's a 23 model year, but you know, like the enthusiast bikes, they were at least halfway through the year before they let those out, and that was that model year, right? Like,
Yeah. Well, they don't even have a small displacement Sportster at this. Well, if you consider 975 small, but
I like the Nightster S.
yes,
The flat black one they had in the video, I thought looked Sportster. I thought it felt like a Harley. It felt like, you know, a Sportster. We were at a dealer this past weekend, and the old man was with me. And again, I grew up on his Sportster, and he hadn't even seen the Sportster S. Doesn't care, not interested. You know, this that, and the other. And I go, hey, there's a Sportster S, and he goes, where? And I'm like, right here, like right next to you. And he's like, that's for a damn kid. And he just like walked away. He's like, I don't like that. I don't want to look at that. Put it away. It's ugly. It makes me sad. You know, like that. But that, and it's because the Sportster S does look so different. But he did say the Nightster was better that was sitting there. But that Nightster S looks like a Sportster.
I thought it was cool because it has more of a classic Harley look. It looks a lot like the what was it? The lowrider. In my opinion, it has that, you know, classic Harley thing. And I was a little disappointed. I thought we were going to see the smaller displacement bikes that they kept talking about. I think that would have been cool.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that'll be a mid-year thing.
Well, yeah, and if they were smart, they'd do it every quarter.
Yeah.
It's great marketing. Because how long was the? No, that was during COVID, where the events were like a half hour to an hour long.
Yeah, and they were a lot more dramatic. Pan America off-road. That's the big thing. They were launching the Pan America, so
yeah,
you know.
I think keeping it to 18 minutes was a good idea.
That's fair.
I think Moose said it best earlier in a comment. I can't remember where you wrote it, Moose, but he said, like, these are model year launches, not wish list launches. Like, they're not like everything I've ever wanted in a Harley should give me when I want it. And if you don't, then I'm going to throw a tantrum in the side chat. Like, it's no one screams at Chevrolet every year because they didn't have the color of Silverado that you think they should have. Like, I guess it's also more of an emotional attachment thing too, but.
Well, yeah, and I think too that they're definitely at a crossroads, and you know, I mean, I'm a Road Glide fan, you guys know that, but I thought it was really interesting that that's what they seem to start showcasing. It's almost as though they're trying to change the image the way they did with the Sportster.
I think it's just trendy.
Well, I mean, nothing wrong with that, right? Pickup trucks were trendy and electric cars, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm not knocking
Whatever,
it. It's just that
no, and that's fair.
I mean, people flip to extremes back and forth. And admittedly, when the Road Glide came out in 15, it was new and different. And the Road Glide had been ugly as F, you know, for forever prior to that. I mean, the one right before wasn't bad, but you look at the Tour Glide from the 80s and 70s, that's the ugliest damn motorcycle. I can't believe they actually built that and put it on sale. Like, I can't believe they were like, here you go. Here's your fixed fairing bike. Like, anyway. So when it came out in 15, it was like, oh, something different, and it's not ugly anymore. And so everyone bought it. Like everyone bought that instead of a Batwing. And I feel like that'll level out once that initial thing is over. We've had 5 years of it now, 7 years of it now.
Yeah, there's still that part of me that thinks that maybe it's a generational thing. It's not your father's Harley, which is weird because Harley is a legacy brand or heritage, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I thought it was
Did you hear them
interesting.
in the video say that they noticed the trend of more young people buying trikes as their first bike?
I didn't.
Did they say that?
Yeah, and I was like, really? I've never seen that. I've never seen a young kid on a trike that wasn't like disabled.
Didn't need it. There wasn't
Yeah.
a reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like we're all going to get there. That's why I don't that. And there's one in the family. My dad rides one because it's what he needs to ride. So that's, as long as you keep rolling, more power to you. I'm going to give you shit, but just out of entertainment, not.
But
not
that's
because
an
I actually think
interesting
it's fun.
point. It's the price point's really high though, because that would be an interesting idea, right? If you could, there's got to be a market for people that don't want to be on two wheels but still want to ride. I mean, they're selling Can-Ams left and right.
Yeah. And see, that's something I do see younger people on the Can-Ams.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting, but
especially that
I've
Riker.
never really seen any on a Harley trike.
Yeah, the Riker looks interesting.
Yeah, I think that. I hope that young people aren't buying trikes because they just don't want to put the effort forth or they're scared of two wheels or this, that, and the other. Like, I really hope that's not what's going on. If it keeps them buying Harleys and it keeps the company in business, then yay. But I really hope that's not what it is. That they're like, oh no, two wheels are scary, so I'll just buy a trike. Like,
See that though.
I hope that's not the case.
I know, me too.
Well, yeah, I mean, at this point, they need to bring anything they can into the market, which I mean, at least rider wise. I thought it was interesting too that they put so much effort into talking about their clothing line. I mean, they've done that before, but this was half the video. It felt like.
You know what though? One of my favorite business books of all time was called Rebuilding the Brand. It was their general sales manager from the 80s and 90s. And if you do road trips, man, buy the audiobook and listen to it because and you're also in marketing or BD or whatever.
What's it called? Rebuilding the Brand?
Rebuilding the Brand. It's freaking wonderful. And it's him telling you everything behind the curtain. This is what we did, and this is how we forced dealers to double down on clothing and jackets and things like that because it's what we needed to grow as a brand globally. And in the 90s, when you had waiting lists, because waiting lists are good for all of us, it makes our bikes stay valuable, that sort of stuff. Clothing kicked that off. So when they got Harley Davidson leather jackets to hang in European fashion boutique windows is when the brand became so super ultra premium. And, so if you can make the clothes be a leader, then it's good for us. Even though we're not into it, I'm never going to buy that red leather jacket that Becky wore in that video. I'm never going to buy that. But if someone else loves it and buys it, cool, because it helps the value of my bike and keeps the business, it keeps the moco running.
Well, yeah, and the other thing I thought too is if you're watching that and your wife's in the room watching that with you, it's another opportunity to close a deal, right? Because it's more people coming in the dealership.
Bodine just nailed it. Long-term business strategy doesn't make people that look short-term. Oh, it just moved on me. Damn it! Doesn't make people that look short-term happy all the time. Exactly.
And
but if you can
oddly, I could see Bodine in that red leather jacket too.
Absolutely,
that's another tirade.
That would just be the new hotness right there, man. Bodine in that jacket would just be woo. One thing we were all, everyone in the side chat knows we were all texting about this all day, and things that I liked and didn't like, and there was a bit of a swing and a miss, I feel, in that Becky, so Axel, who did the young lady they had do the clothing collection in the video.
Who is she?
So her Instagram is Axel AXEL Co. She was on Norman Reedus's ride. She rode across Uruguay with him. She built two pan heads. One of them was in Born Free. They actually, Harley did just sponsor a video series with her. So it's pretty cool on the website where she built her panhandles in Born Free. She rides, if you follow her Instagram, she rides every day. Like that's her form of transportation. I would have liked to have heard her reaction to bikes, not apparel. Like I feel I feel like she's way more not legit. That sounds terrible. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I would like to hear what Axel thought of the bikes and the colors more than I would have liked to hear her reaction to clothing. Now, what could make me wrong about that is that Axel does have a clothing line, so it kind of makes sense why they would have her, look at it. But at the same time, she's a badass who rides a panhead. I kind of want to hear her, thoughts on bikes.
Yeah.
But,
so who did they have? They had who was the guy with the cowboy hat? That's 2 Lane Life.
2 Lane,
right?
yeah.
And who was the gentleman that was talking about the trike? Is he?
I don't know. I missed that. He was cool though. I liked his story.
Yeah, because he was talking about using it as a blank canvas and build it out. I think that would be some really slick stuff.
I like that he was talking about his grandfather building a trike out of a Civic car and putting Daytons on the back of it. I was like, that's cool. Like, I wanted to know his story more. More than that was really good. I think honestly, it's interesting if you took more, not necessarily social media people, but non-Moco people and sprinkle them more through to get the reactions of Norman Reedus.
Yeah.
Did they even say that guy? I don't even think they said that guy's name, did they?
Well, he won't because he's Triumph, isn't he? Isn't that show sponsored by Triumph or Ducati? One of them.
No, I think you're talking about the dude with the trike.
Yeah.
the guy with the trike.
I'm sorry.
I mean, did they not put their name on the screen or anything? I already knew who everyone was. So
I didn't see it, and I didn't see. I mean, when they did introductions like with 2 Lane Life, like they said their first names, but I don't think they really said who they were either.
They did. They flashed up a lower 2/3 real quick. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it. So I would have loved to know who that guy is because I was interested in his story. I would have loved to have seen Axel around bikes, not just clothes. And later on, when you get into other things, I would love to have seen reactions from other personalities in the community, not just Moco people, which I get it. But, again, Norman Reedus, or I don't know, we can think of somebody that could just walk in and go, oh, that's cool. Or, it's cool to see that you guys are doing this. Because I do think the collections idea is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody was commenting about the cost of the collections. Do you get a deal if you buy all that stuff? Or is it like if you buy it all together, they just add all the prices up? Or is there like...
Well, that's an old Victory move. That's what Victory, and I think Indian does that. And it's not a bad idea. You finance in the whatever package, if that's what you want to do, and you walk out with the bike the way you want it, which I personally think takes away from it. To me, it's more fun to build your bike out than it is to roll out of the showroom with it.
Yeah.
I mean, Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor would have been cool.
Awesome.
Charlie, Ewan's buddy Charlie,
Yes.
Charlie Borman. That would have been cool. But, just have someone else in the room besides, the Empire Collection is $39.90. Oh.
Ouch.
What do you get?
Really?
I mean, I assume that's everything. Front, rear, boards, grips, blah, 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 blah,
Well, I was looking today. You figure the floorboards are $500.
Yeah.
And that's just the front ones. So, yeah.
The floorboards on the Empire Collection, I almost get, because if you see them in person, my buddy's got them. That is a precision machined part. Like, there's a lot of time on the CNC machine to cut that sucker. Like, it's, I don't know, not to be fanboy.
That's the one with the hollow center, right?
Yeah.
That's the one I want.
Yeah, when you see that, my buddy Joe has those on his bike, and when you see them in person, it's like that's a piece of jewelry, like the way they cut that thing. But
I wonder too if maybe they're taking the old Indian trick, right? People walk in the showroom, they see your channel, they see Bert's channel, they see whoever's channel, and they say, well, you know what? I don't want to spend the time to figure this out. I just want the experience. I want the bike, right? Because there's no shortness of people that buy Harleys and they sit in the garage. So wouldn't it be cool that, it looks custom? I don't know.
Yeah.
51 not. Ow, that's a
Yeah, and you know, no one's going to get it for that either. Dealers are going to want 60 plus, as they say down here. So it's going to be 60 tax, title, license, freight on top. I bet you're going to be 66, 67 out the door to actually buy one of those, I bet.
I'll tell you.
They're trying to push CVOs more exclusive again. CVOs became kind of commonish, you know, like when I bought mine, it was a $15,000 difference from a road glide to a CVO road glide, you know, and they're trying to make it 2 road glides to get the CVO. So I kind of get it, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's like anything, right? It's marketing. If you make it exclusive, it's like Dixon. How fast did Dixon sell out? Now, is that because they made 1,000 or did they make 10,000? It's brilliant marketing.
Yeah.
Their Cody jacket sold out in 20 minutes last night. It's crazy.
The what jacket?
They had a Cody jacket. It's
20 minutes for real?
Suede. Yeah, I saw it released and I was checking it out, and like, let's say 30 at the most. They were all gone.
Wow. Oh, that's a good point. So full throttle hog, how do you think interest rates will affect the sales?
Oh, good point.
You know,
somebody told me. I'm sorry, Mark. I didn't mean to step on you.
Oh.
Somebody, misplaced moto vlogger who's in the side chat, who's my neighbor, just bought a Road Glide standard. Haven't seen it yet. Looking forward to seeing it this weekend. He was saying that Harley's doing an 8-year loan now.
Really?
They offered it to him at the dealership, and he'll pop in. And Frank, if you're in the side chat, still confirm that. But I believe that's what he said to me.
96 months.
You know, and is that a way that you can bring in? You know, because if you bought Frank's saying it's true. If you were to buy, you know, a sportster S or something like that, if you don't have a whole lot of money, it's only a monthly payment. I mean that sincerely, right? If it's $250 and it's 8 years, you can still get the bike you want.
Here's the thing though. You should reserve that term for bikes that have any chance of retaining value. Otherwise, I don't want to say ugly words like predatory lending, but that feels a little like that's so irresponsible that, and some people are going to say, well, if they buy it, it's their problem. But at the same time, I feel like you kind of shouldn't put someone in a bike that they're going to have to own that son of a bitch for 8 years because it's going to be so upside down. They you know, if it's going to drop in value, that's too, unless it's a Road Glide CVO limited, I don't think they should offer that long of a term. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe they do just for touring. They do. I don't know.
Well, Frank, did they offer you that option in your standard? I'd be really curious.
Still a touring bike. I just mean they shouldn't be offering that on nightster.
Oh,
that's not, you know.
I mean, the argument's always been for the Japanese bikes is that, you know, people can't afford them. The younger kids can't afford them with college debt. Maybe that's Harley's answer. I agree with you. It might not be the best decision.
It's easier to buy a Harley than a Honda.
Yeah, and
it is. It's a lot easier to buy a Harley than a Honda.
Yeah.
Wow.
And longer term. So Honda, I remember I was looking at a trail for a while there before I realized I don't have room for what I own. What the hell am I even looking at? You know, whatever. The Honda Trail, and it wasn't because it was a smaller bike. I looked at like, what's the financing stuff on that? It didn't matter that it was a smaller bike. This was the deal. It was like 24 months, and it was on a credit card. And oddly enough, I remember that from when I owned a Yamaha when I was a kid. You were actually opening a Yamaha credit card, and when you put a motorcycle on the credit card, it was a certain interest rate over a certain number of months. But I remember the terms were always like my payments were high on those Yamahas because the terms were short. It was like 36 months on 12 grand. You know, like, and that's how metric bikes are typically. Maybe it's changed now, but you know, back then, payment was big. It was easier to buy a Harley. $60,000 bike for 8 years is $777 a month.
Holy.
What interest rate is that? Full throttle, I'm curious.
What is the going interest rate for bikes?
I don't know new. I
Me
want to
neither.
say used is, well, no, I think whenever the interest rates, when they went up a
8.
point or two, I want to say it was like 11%. It was something crazy.
8. So full throttle says 8. I do think that Harley interest rates are typically 8-ish. They're kind of higher, you know.
Holy, look at Phoenix's comment, 120 months in Utah.
What?
Which I don't understand, because if you're a guy, you probably have 8 wives. Don't they have jobs so they don't need to? I mean, they're Mormons,
Yeah.
right? So you should be able to have eight
Right.
wives. You shouldn't pay for that.
Yeah, Winroad's 2.5 through a credit union. So I've done this a couple times. You buy the bike, and then I get home and just go on USAA and like refinance it the next day. Like, just let me out of the dealership with it, and then I'll fix it later. You know, like.
Yeah.
That's what we did. I told Katie, just sign whatever they tell you, just sign, and we'll refi it. And
Yeah.
actually, I want to go to my credit union and even refi it further. But yeah, I mean, that's crazy. 100% depending on your credit. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't your Bob have a freewheeler first?
Yeah. It was a lemon though. It had a BCM ECM problem, so it kept throwing codes and anti-lock brakes quit working, and it was just it was a bad bike.
So my
No way
question
around
is, how big is the trunk on that thing?
It's the same size as a triglide. It's just the doors on the top instead of the back.
Okay. Just curious because you can't do the tour pack, so I was just wondering how big that is.
Yeah, you'd have to change the tub on the back to it, to add the tour pack. But I think that the
because it
trunk
wouldn't
on
open. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
unless you can mount a tour pack to the lid, which you can't. The trunk on a freewheeler is easier to use because you just open that giant trunk lid and dump crap in it and slam it shut, as opposed to on the triglide, you have to kind of get down under the tour pack, open the trunk door, shove things in it,
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times we pulled up to a red light and look over at my dad and the trunk is open because he didn't close it all the way, and it just falls open as he's going down the road, like.
That's funny.
Yeah, I was just curious because you already don't have saddlebags, and now
Mhm.
if you can't do a tour pack, I hope there's some decent space in there.
It's all right. Yeah, it's pretty big.
I mean, they're going to have to make a limited version of that at some point. I mean, it's inevitable if it takes off.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to keep it sporty, not the geezer glide look.
Yeah, but I won't lie. I mean, if had we not purchased our Road Glide with Katie's hip issues, I would have seriously considered it. I wouldn't have thought about it too long.
Yeah.
Throw a backrest on it, and it's the best of both worlds.
Backrest is weird on the freewheeler / Road Glide trike. It's 2 holes. It's like a bar that's completely unique, and it snaps down in the holes, and then I'll tell you, it's a bitch to get out of there. Actually, like on Dad's freewheeler, we'd wrestle that sucker to get it out of there because the clasps were so intense.
Interesting. So, I don't know. Road Glide trike 131. I think Old Man Monkey needs that in his life.
He's about to go stage 2 on his trike.
That's awesome.
We've got the parts. He just doesn't want to pay for the labor, so we're sitting on the parts. Like,
that's really funny. I mean, I don't know. I mean, was there anything you hated? I mean, I was kind of just left like, meh, like you said, right? I wasn't overwhelmed. I wasn't underwhelmed. I was just whelmed.
I was just whelmed. Yeah.
My phone was sitting on my desk, and I looked at that, and I was like, all right, that's funny.
I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not underwhelmed. I'm just whelmed.
There wasn't anything I hated. I mean, I'll be honest with you, when they're talking about like sportsters and stuff like that, I don't pay too much attention because I'm just not that interested in them. But I mean, I really like red, so I dig the lineup of red bikes. I thought that was nice. I agree with you. I'm not a big fan of gold, but I thought those bikes. Did you see the Heritage? The red stripe in the saddlebags?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
That looked pretty cool. I thought the
I
Heritage.
didn't notice that.
Yeah. But I mean, I love the Road Glide, or the Road Glide 3, so I thought it was cool. I mean, I had no expectations of any kind of new motor or anything like that everybody always wants to see. So I mean, that wasn't like disappointed about it because I didn't expect it.
I just wonder, why would you worry about a new motor? Like, what's wrong with Milwaukee 8? You know, if you want, I mean, Harley owners want air cooled still. The 114 isn't standard, but it's in all the specials, which is probably outsell the standards. It's 100-ish horsepower and torque. Like, what do you?
I think
What
the
do you
biggest
want?
gripe people have is that the CVO doesn't have something bigger than everything else.
I agree.
You know?
I agree. It should be.
Yeah.
It should be more of a jump than just 3 cubes, because it's a. Matt Laidlaw in a video the other day said that the 117, which I don't know, it was 5%. It's 5% more out of a 117 than a 114 in the real world.
That's not
Okay.
a lot.
Wow, that's not much.
So,
But that 117 breakout's got to be a blast. That's got to
Yeah.
be a lot of fun. Hey,
oh,
Dom.
Dominic's here. We can start now.
Dom's here.
Did you like that orange road glide they showed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. I like that bike a lot.
I mean, other than that worthless windshield that it had on it, it looked
Oh.
pretty cool.
That's not a windshield. That's like a, I don't know what that is. That's not even a, it doesn't even protect the dash from chips.
No.
Like, you know,
No,
they know better than I do, obviously. Like, you know, like when that first came out, the CVO came with that. And it didn't even, I don't think it even left the dealer. Like, because I was trading in a Road Glide Ultra on the CVO. And I think on the showroom floor, I took a screwdriver and just took my clockworks off and swapped it.
it's for you, Drew.
Uh-oh. We have the man, the myth, the legend popping in. Your camera's not working, sir. I think he's still working through that. Oh, he's fixing it.
Well,
Yep,
if you
there
say
he is.
Same bikes, different colors, then you didn't watch it.
Well, looky who showed up. Alan, how are you, sir?
Hey guys, what's up, guys? Oh my God, it's the first time here with the three of you.
Hi. Your internet's working tonight. It's very exciting.
It's going to get weird. Don't worry. It's fine. It's all fine.
I've been in a section with Bert and George and Monkey before, but not with Bry.
Well, we're going to fix that coming up. So, Alan, tell everybody who you are for those of you there. For
Hey
those
guys,
people that might not know.
Alan, I work for Van Black. I'm the CEO representing the company in California. Nice to meet you guys. And I don't know if you heard of Van Black. We do color match aftermarket Harley parts. And
They watch our channels. They've heard of Van Black. Are you kidding me? Like,
oh,
all of our bikes.
I thought Monkey was the CEO until he told me it was you.
No. I'm his secretary. That's it.
He's the mechanic.
Well, I will say this. Your color match is dead on. It's extremely impressive.
Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah,
What about his shirt to his wall?
we tried. We still work. We will try. We're rushing to release the 2023 colors. So
Really? You know, I was thinking of something tonight.
Oh.
Me and the missus were talking about, when they were talking about the color of the CVO, the anniversary black, they called it, which is a black, but in the sun you can see there's red in it, is what he said.
Yes.
He said it's the most amazing color in person. And I can't remember if it was me or the missus who said, you know, Alan should make, when you do the body swap, like you can do the whole body swap,
yeah,
you should make, or an idea, everyone says you should, right? Would be to make only for full body swaps colors you cannot get.
what do you
So
mean?
if
Like,
you,
what do you mean, like custom colors?
no, if you could make the anniversary black that you can only get on a $60,000 Road Glide limited CVO, but if you can match that color and people could do the body swap in a color you cannot get, that would be pretty awesome. It's not something you keep on the shelf. It would just be something you have the ability to do.
Right, but they're okay. So
Look at him. Oh God, just look.
No, I'm thinking about a scenario, right? Like, so let's say Harley only make 100 of them, and then we release it, and then 500 people buy it. Then all of a sudden, you have 600 of the same of that model roaming around the street.
So they're all happy.
There's 50
And
states.
there's 600 of those.
Well.
There's 95,000 vivid black. So
That would be cool, and that would be cool actually. It's like,
So, Alan,
colors that
somebody
you
had
could
a,
only get on a CVO, you know,
Yeah,
you know that.
that'd be a good idea. And if there's limited edition numbers on it, we can pick the numbers too, like the 100.
ooh.
Oh, so Full Throttle Hawk just said make a limited count, it would be desired. Like, there you go. Like, two great minds together. Like, if you color matched that anniversary black and called it anniversary Advan black, and then only made 500 sets and it's only a
Right.
full body Rogue Rider Street, that's kind of cool.
I mean, if we could sell 5 sets, I would be happy. I mean,
Well,
So-
speaking of which, Alan, you're running a contest. You want to tell everybody about it?
oh, right. Well, thank you for.
He got distracted already. He's like, I don't know.
Well, I was gonna mention it, but I wasn't gonna mention it like the first thing I came here.
Oh, you can wait then.
So, okay. So here it is. We are running a contest to give out a full body color swap bundle to a lucky winner by submitting their pictures of their bike. It has to be 14 and up touring models though, because sorry if you have 13 and down, we didn't discriminate you because we just don't have enough parts for that bike. So I'm sorry. So if you have 14 and up touring bikes, take some pictures, videos, whatnot. Share a compelling story about you and your bike. It could be how you started riding it, how you got it, or how you stole it from your neighbor. Doesn't matter. Give us your story. Give us your story, and then post it on our Avant Black review group. There's instruction there. As soon as you go on the page, you can see the first post. That's the instruction. Follow the instruction. Share the story. We'll pick one story that we really like, and give away the whole full set of the Alzuano airbrush.
Sueño.
Alzueno. Alzueno, right?
And that's on, to enter that, that's on Facebook.
The proper way to write it is you have that little symbol on top of above the O.
The Enya.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we didn't do that. We just used O because for people to be able to search it on Google.
Oh.
Okay. So that kind of changed the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Right. But it's supposed to mean the dream, right? The dream.
It's a cool paint set. The white one, I was zooming in on the photos and the graphics on it, to me feel very, very Southern California cholo. Like it's you could actually build a cholo dresser. I said dresser for just to piss you off.
That's the point. That's the whole point.
It's a
So,
bagger.
so please submit your stories. Like we only have 10 stories, or 1 out of 10 right now. Okay.
And that's
those are
on
good odds.
Facebook, correct?
That's only on Facebook. So go to our review. Can I share that link over here?
It shouldn't. If it doesn't, put it in the private chat and I'll share it.
When does the contest end?
I'll be right back. I got to write a compelling story. It was always my dream to.
But it has to be a true story, though. You can't be making up.
Oh, well, that.
How would you know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know, but it's just just be honest.
I want to be cooler than De Beard.
Oh,
Stop.
An asterisk, because it only happens or affects some of us. Ultras, you're going to have a problem. If you have an ultra limited, because of those painted lowers, man, if you have an ultra limited or an ultra that has radiators and the lowers, it's you're gonna have to deal with that yourself, and that's a pain in the rear, and that's Harley's fault, not
Right.
There's no way to pop them off.
There is, but what you'd have to do is, first off, it's probably one of the most difficult things I've done next to an interfering swap, because the radiators are in there. So you're taking the plumbing out, the radiators, draining everything, then breaking them apart from the front piece to the back piece. Then you have to find a body shop that will paint it to match, and it would be solid color because no one's going to match the Sueño paint set, right? The airbrushing, So if you have an Ultra, just know that you're going to have a big project on your hands to get those lowers to match.
Well, and I was talking to Alan about that the other night. That's always been my concern. You could take it to a local place, but is it going to match? Right? I mean,
Yeah.
anybody that has a Harley doesn't generally hate it.
And you
that's a
might be
big deal.
surprised that some Harley colors cannot be just bought. Like you can't just buy, like Harley Davidson Vivid Black, they can buy it and it tells you how much reducer to put into it, and it's going to be perfect if they know what they're doing. And a whole lot of colors are like that. Snake Venom you can buy canned. Like so you can buy Harley Davidson paint, if you have a crashed bike, right? But not every color. So Hard Candy Hot Rod Red Flake that I built with Alan on the 131 bike, I was sweating it when the lowers were done because I had to go aftermarket to buy the paint. And even the body shop was like, I don't know, man. Like,
I remember it. You had it painted somewhere.
Yeah, I brought your fender, Alan, to them.
Right.
And said, here's the perfect color. And he was just like sweating beads going, man, I'm so worried that it's not going to be right. And thankfully it was, but.
Well, I think that speaks to Advan's dedication, right? I mean, it matches, and it matches dead on. There's no variance. And I think that's really cool. So the solution, Monk, I already figured it out. You ship your bike to Alan.
Right.
They paint it and then they send it back. I mean, that's only got to be like $2,000. It's no big deal.
Just to get it there and back, besides the labor of taking the lowers apart, which takes a long time.
Yeah, I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we could do that, but we just can't. We just can't do it for everybody. Everybody say. I mean, some people we get approached from time to time and say, hey, you know what? I get this part. Like, if I ship it to you, would you be able to paint it for me? Yeah, we can't handle that because like all of our paint and supply chain is pretty standardized.
Mm.
We don't have like a shop and a guy, and then like we send them a part like randomly for them to paint. Everything goes through our order system, and then they, everything is like pre-planned.
Yeah. But if you have a stock bike and you just want to put a Dominator fender and some stretch bags on it, it's going to be the same color as the rest of the bike, right?
Right.
Yeah. And those wrap around in the stretch bags. I've seen Bert's bike in person several times. It's awesome looking. It's an award-winning bike. Is that correct, Bert? He is so proud of that trophy.
Is that written on with a marker? And does it say best dad?
Yes. I don't know what it is. I grabbed the wrong trophy. I'm sorry. I got lots of trophies.
It says best.
That's this one.
It's a participation trophy.
Okay, I want to answer that question. Well, the video is not mandatory. Pictures are mandatory, and then the story is mandatory. So you gotta have to like kind of write your story out for us to read. So video is just a bonus if you want to make it. So there's no requirement of the.
You have to disqualify video because Full Throttle Hog will win.
Yeah,
but
if you haven't seen Ryan's work, it's amazing, straight up.
So Alan, when you get off here, go search YouTube for Sturgis Doesn't Care.
What is it?
It's
I'll
my
throw it in
favorite
the
video
chat.
Full Throttle. So if you just search Sturgis Doesn't Care and watch that after you're done here,
Well,
then you'll be like, no video allowed.
But when does the contest end?
February 20th, something like that.
Ryan can't get one of his videos done that quick.
No, you don't have to do it.
Neither could George.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's actually the 12th.
Wow.
It's actually the 12th. So, I mean, how hard is it for you to write like 100-word story? So basically, like for take a Bert as an example, right? One day I went to a bar, got drunk, and came out, saw a bike with no one attending to it. I grabbed it and ran. That's 100 right there.
That was number.
So
They haven't taught me yet.
So, Monkey, do you leave your garage unlocked? Asking for a friend.
I do actually leave the door up way more than I should, I admit. Like, I went to pick up the little one from school the other day, got home, and the door was open. There's like chopper parts, motors. Like, it's like, just take it. Like, not thinking.
My story
So-
would actually be about the time I rode Mrs. Monkey's bike naked in Sturgis.
What's
There
up?
is that. We burned the seat though, so it's fine.
So, Alan, that paint job though is available in any color. Is that correct, or a limited
color that
amount?
we offer. So if you want to actually look at it, go on our website, and then there's the airbrush Alzuano airbrush bundle. You look at it and see all of the colors that are being offered.
The funny thing is, I'm going to lovingly be critical for a second.
Oh, here we go.
Lovingly.
Well, he's a friend. I don't, the white is probably the worst color you can. Like, there's so many colors I would show that on that would be like so cool. If you, because you can do this, you can do the sueño in the airbrush can be silver or black, right?
Right, but at the same time, you're not a white kind of color guy.
But well, you know what though, you can see it better online, I guess. I'm just thinking like in person, that the gray airbrush over white. Can you imagine any dark red with that over on silver, or any blue? Or I was thinking something today. I was poking around the site and I was thinking, what about black on black? So that you'd only see it in the sun, or something like a charcoal gray with a black over, so that it wouldn't be obvious. That'd be a show winner right there. Like the bike just looks like it's black or it's a very dark gray, and then you get up closer and see all this detail in the paint. Would be really cool. But you could never show that on a website. It would never come through. Like that's the problem.
I mean, that would be up to that person, right? If you want to be creative and you thought it was cool, and that's there's an option for you. You can choose silver or black when you actually make the purchase. And in the case of the contest, where if you happen to be the winner, then you can specify what kind of brush you want. You want silver or black, or what kind of colors? Really up to you. So
Snake venom in black would be interesting. Yeah. Purple and black. Oh yeah.
It's almost like
I just want a purple bike.
You want to see one piece in a bunch of different ways, like a side cover in. I'd love to see black on black. Like, what would a black paint job, or maybe not black, a very, very dark, what was it, black pearl they made years ago? That was a really dark, cool color. Like, do that overspray on black pearl and to see what that would look like and all that stuff.
Black airbrush over snake venom. I don't know. I don't know. I probably, I don't know. I probably would pick silver airbrush.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or that.
I wonder if the snake venom wouldn't take too much away from the airbrush, because the snake venom changes color.
Personally, like, I kind of like the silver airbrush more than black, because I think black is just too obvious, like to face.
But silver airbrush on black, or that on a super dark color, might be really cool. But
that works. Ghost flame.
Is that the plan, to do like a custom design set like that? Because you have more than that. You have the Ravager, right?
Yeah.
We still do those?
Yeah, we still do those. Yeah.
And what's the other one?
We had the Inferno, which is the flame style, and then the Ravager. We've had those for quite some time now, and the Alzuano is something that we just came up with like not very long ago.
So we're going to add to those more? Is there going to be new ones every year or every so often, or?
We try whenever we have, something that's, like a light bulb that comes up and say, why don't we try this? But this is to the audience here, and we like to work with people who have creative ideas, like like let's say Bry, for example, and come up to me
pink.
One day.
Bry likes pink.
I woke up and then I had this like vision of like this pattern. Like, if you give it to us and say, and we look at it and like, oh wow, this is really cool. Like, this is something that haven't seen before and seems like a really cool design. Then we can make it, and then we can name it after you.
Ooh, the Bry.
The Bry, the Brie. You know, a little like slice of cheese.
It will be like a crossover thing, like Van Black Cross Bry airbrush design. something like that.
The painters are something else, man.
Go ahead, say it, Bert. Go ahead. What would it have on it? What logo would be on my custom set? Go ahead, say it. I know you're sitting there thinking about it.
I wasn't thinking anything. Man.
Why is Bert so quiet today?
I think he's intimidated.
Because he's sober.
I was gonna say, are you waiting for somebody to bring you the beer or something?
I was just thinking that how you lost a really good opportunity to promote this contest. I mean, you could have sent the three of us out a set to put on our bikes and advertise it for you and promote the contest.
I don't know. Like, I'm a little bit disappointed about the number of people actually enter, because I thought when we're giving out, like, this is like the biggest prize that we've ever given out, like, over $5,000 value, and then I thought that there would be like 100 entries by now, but we only got 10. So is it because
that paint set's only $5,000?
What do you mean only? Freaking $5,000.
Because it would be like 12 to have that done in a shop. like
Right. So
and it's turnkey.
If you order the regular one without the airbrush, it's like $3,000. So this is like almost $2,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a lot of hours in that paint in that airbrush. Like
it is. But because we've done this for so long and we're good at doing it in a very efficient way, so I mean that's why we're able to pass down the cost to the customer.
Custom painters are a type all their own, man. I was at a guy's house recently who's helping me with the chopper and some stuff, and he's like on a pencil just with a tank, just going, we could do this and basket weave and bubbles over here and da 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 da. And you're like, but what about this? What about that? And he literally just looked at me and said, why don't you just shut up and let me do my job? And I'm like, oh, okay, and he's just drawing on the tank with a pencil. Like, I'm like, all right, man. Chopper Carl, he does chopper paint jobs, and you don't give him input. You get what he thinks you need, But
well, you have a flame collection too, don't you? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, smart ass, I do. There's.
I wasn't being a smart. Jeez.
I have multiple damaged tanks and
no, I'm sorry. I was saying Advan has a
I thought you were talking about my damaged tanks that are flamed. I'm sorry.
No, you have everything. We're discounting you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're humming, DeBeard. Your mic's doing some weird shit. George, if you're watching, please come home.
You're using George's equipment, so I guess it's not very good.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do?
So, I mean, to the credit of the custom painters, it's not about the skills level. I think it's just a completely different operation. Because for every custom job, you're gonna have to set up, for that one bike, that one color. Right, so a lot of like preparation and color matching and all that involved to do that one job. But for us, because we do it in a scale, so we can have like a whole setup for just do that color for that for a number of parts, and then we just do all of them at the same time. So that scale level is different.
I think it's when I built the 131 bike and then we did the Advan body. The reason I said like I can't believe that set's only $5,000 because I can't tell you how many dudes that were like, oh my god, it's stuff is so expensive. I'm like, have you ever custom painted a body part before?
Yeah.
Like when I did the lowers to match the body that I got from Alan, it was $500 for the paint.
Yeah.
Like just the material cost was $500. Before the labor, which was I think another $800, and I gave him the parts, so that wasn't like buying a painted part. I gave him the parts, and $1,300 later they were color matched to the other part. Like body shops are expensive.
Well, what I like about it is if you get it, it's all going to match.
Yeah.
There's no waiting for it. I mean, you. How long did it take you to do the bike in Daytona? 8 hours?
I think.
Yeah, and that was me and Steve who have done that exact job
That was
times
in,
each.
that was in Sturgis. I think it was 4 hours overall,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
I think
and that was
red lights were
Steve's
four.
wife handing us parts, 2 of us, and we've both done it a bunch of times. So, you know, I think that anybody who can turn a wrench at all could do their own bike if they're not doing the inner fairing, if they're just doing the outer pieces. You know, if they just take their time and enjoy it, maybe a weekend, you know what I mean? Like they could get it done and feel good about it. You know, like
I mean,
Right.
if you didn't know when you rolled up on Bert's bike, it looks completely custom, and the parts are awesome, and you wouldn't know it. You know what I mean? He's not. You didn't send it off to a painter and have to wait for it to get back. It
Yeah.
looks fantastic.
So who installed the parts for you? Or
He got Wreck-It Ralph to do it. Is that who did it?
There's not
That's
a single
mean,
Advan
Alan.
black part that I didn't install.
Allegedly.
Well, that's not true. The cluster was done while we did the bar, so that was Bob helped with that.
Yeah, but that's not hard. That was just done because it was being done at the time, you know.
Right. So
Toby's asking, can international people enter? I'm guessing no, but you tell me if I'm wrong. So Canada, Mexico, etc.
this one is only for the U.S. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
because it'll be a lot of problems to ship all those parts to a different country, and
Oh my God, import duties and stuff would just
I'm sorry, but if you know somebody in the U.S. who can receive the parts for you, then yeah, that might work.
If you have a road glide and you win and you're out of seats, just send them to my house. It'll be fine. I guarantee you it'll be fine.
It's kind of like if you live in Southern California, you want certain performance parts, just have a friend in Las Vegas. It's only 4 hours away.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, Alan, is there anything coming out that you can talk about? I mean, is there any? I mean, because you've come out with floorboards, you have lights. I mean, is there anything besides
More
the
lights.
custom paint?
More lights. We're gonna release saddlebags, LED lights.
Ooh, okay.
So I didn't. It's gonna come out sometime next week. So it'll be like the one that you see from Zero 3D, except
Okay.
that it is L shaped. So you see from the rear and also on the side.
Oh,
nice.
very cool.
Yeah. So that's a little addition to the saddlebag. So we already have the tour pack lights for the tour pack. Now that the saddlebags have would complete the whole rear end lighting.
I just thought of something funny. You know, the model release days, you've got to be sitting there staring at the computer, just sweating, going, please don't change the damn motorcycles. Like, please keep the shape. One more year, just one more year.
Yeah. That too. So
It's gonna be a nerve-wracking, you know.
yeah, they've kept the platform for quite some time now, huh? It's like 10 years, more than 10 years.
Well, pretty much 14, right?
Same platform.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't change it. Don't ever change it.
Yeah. It's cost you a fortune when they change stuff. Sure.
Dude, if they do, like, imagine how many molds that we have to remake.
Yeah.
That
It'll
would
be
be
starting a
rough.
new business all over.
My Apple Glide's
Applefly
got.
wants to know. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say exactly what you just said.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Not yet, but I wish. For how long have I been beating you up, Alan, about an extended reach seat? Like, let's do that. Move that sucker back and down a little bit, and
How about a step-up seat? Step-up
no.
seat would be cool too.
I know we're just like I know this is always in the back of our mind, but just we have so many priorities, like trying to get the new parts out. So we have so many ideas about new items that we wanna produce that it makes it a little bit difficult for us to revisit the products that we already have. Does it make sense? And on top of trying to improve the things that we know that we can improve on existing products. Yeah, so it's about priority thing and also the resource. We just if we have the limited resource, a lot of time we kind of prioritize making new products. So So I'm still waiting for Monkey to actually send me a prototype that he hand stitch at home.
No, they're great. If I hand stitch it, it's gonna be there's gonna be needles in the seat poking me as I go down the road. Like,
what about Monkey's? No, never mind. That was going to come out wrong. It's never mind.
So I
Easy
mean
trip.
we didn't forget that. It's just that we just haven't had a lot of time thinking about the seats. But there are a lot of new product ideas that likely to happen this year.
Good.
One sneak peek is long stretched rear end.
Oh.
So really long, like low stretch ones. It's gonna be in fiberglass. I don't have a date yet, but we have the products almost done.
It can be seen now if you know where to go look.
Well,
hold on, I'm Googling.
Steven has it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you could go to his Instagram and stuff, right? So, is it okay to just say that? I mean, like, I don't know. I didn't know that it was still kind of secret because I've seen it on his Instagram and stuff.
Well, because we haven't been really talking about it yet. So, so he installed it on his bike with the color swap, and he's been showing it.
You have to run a turnout pipe though. That's how long it is.
Yes.
Like, it's so extreme. You have to run a shorty turnout because
You're talking about
cutout.
sick baggers, right?
Yeah.
You can go right now and look at it.
That's what I'm looking for because I was going to share
it. It looks high-end show bike. It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Oh,
really cool LED lighting.
damn!
It's like
hang on,
airline.
I can share it. I just found it.
Yeah.
I don't know how well this is gonna play, but let's see what happens.
Well, he's got photos too, not just the.
Oh, well, hold on. I didn't realize you had. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that thing.
It's still a video. Damn it.
Wow.
I like this speaker.
There it is. Right here, go up, left. Oh, that's a video also. Damn. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's the new color that he's.
See,
Look at that.
that's the kind of seat I want. That's sweet looking.
So yeah. That thing's pretty incredible.
Yeah, he changed it from Chago Pearl to this.
It's a fairing.
That's got a lot of booty. I like it.
But you've got to go shorty turnout. That's my issues because I'm all about the tab pipes because I like loud and I don't want to go back to a turnout.
Right.
But
so, Alan, what's your number one popular seller? Like, what's your number one bread and butter bike?
The most popular seller would be tour packs.
Okay.
That's pretty obvious. Because I think a lot of people, like they when they bought the bikes, they don't come with the tour pack, and then when they start traveling and they need more room, and first thing to think about is the tour pack, and then when they shop around, either you go to Harley, which is like a lot more expensive, and then or you're buying from some Amazon, whatever. You don't know the quality, and then it's not color match painted. So you buy it, you may save a lot of money on the tour pack itself, but you still have to give it to a shop to do the custom paint, which is usually a lot. So at the end, you're not saving a lot of money. But however, even they did a really good paint job, and then you use it, and then the quality is not good. You use it for 3 months and it cracks. You're not only losing the pack, you're losing what you pay for the paint job.
Okay.
Because nobody's going to reimburse you the money for the paint job, right? So you buy from us, we give you a 6 months warranty, and usually it's much longer than that. And you know, if you bought from us that you know, any problem that you have, you talk to us, we will always fix it. So so you know, we try to make it a little bit easier for our customers.
I find it funny that people are like, "Oh, the tour packs look stupid." Yeah, until you use one and you have all that storage.
Well, I mean, like it's sometimes it's not about the style, right? Sometimes it's just like a practical thing. And to me, I like to have a tour pack because, like, when I didn't have the tour pack, I feel like it wasn't complete. Like the rear is just like kind of like empty.
Yeah.
I like to just have the tour pack on there just cause, you know.
And you've had one. If you've had one long enough, I've come to the conclusion that I think the chopped size doesn't make sense anymore, because I have a chopped pack, and I also have a razor pack. There's a razor on the blue bike and a chopped on the 131, right? I can't seem to tell a difference for what I actually do with it between the chopped and the razor, and the razor looks a lot cooler than the chopped, because it's, you know, they jokingly call it a pizza box. I always have two. They're not small. When you open one, you can put a whole lot of stuff on a razor pack. So I feel like you should either have a razor or a king, and the only reason you'd have a king is because you can put a full size helmet in it, a full face helmet in the king.
Right.
Otherwise, razor. Oh, you got bots.
Or if you have a lot to pack, you know, on your road trip or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I can't really tell the difference between a razor and a chop. You know, unless side to side, side by side. I have a chop and I'm happy. The only thing I'm not happy about is, you know, I still have to carry my helmet when I when I get off. But other than that, it's nice.
Yeah, that's a reason to have a king size, is so you can put your damn helmet in there and lock it up. But
and it's a good option if you have a quick release rack. You can always take it off if you don't need it, and just put it on when you're you know, whenever you need to put something. So it's
RV Biker makes a point though. You can put the wraparound backrest on a chopped. I think you can fit the bigger pad on a chopped. That's a good point. Yeah, and you can't on a razor. The lid's not tall enough or something. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Good point. He asked when you thought the new super stretch rear end was going to be out. I don't know if you know any ideas.
Hopefully before the riding season. Can't promise. We tried. If we can get it out sooner, we wouldn't try to get it out later.
Because the fiberglass stuff takes longer to make, right? I mean, just the manufacturing process is longer.
Yeah. It's a lot more manual labor involved. Yeah. So it's not as easy to make as many quantity, but you have to make it in fiberglass because the curve and all of that just make more sense with the fiberglass.
Okay. So Bert, what's been your experience? I mean, your whole bike is that van, correct?
Yeah.
And you got that killer headlight.
Love the headlight.
I like the headlight.
I love the headlight. Oh snap!
All right, I'm ready.
I don't know, man. I have nothing but good things to say. I mean, I know that's going to sound cheesy because, you know, we do nothing. Well, not nothing, but we do a ton of Advan Black videos and stuff. But I mean, I've had no issues with any of it. Fitment's always great. The match is always great. I mean, we wouldn't have stuck with it this long and kept, you know, the relationship if it was crap. So
side chat, anybody? Side chat, raise your shots. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Bert. We're taking shots. So
yeah, there you go.
Shots of water. Woo, they're hardcore. Salud.
What's Monkey being on your live without shots?
Yeah.
Tour pack for the Heritage Classic. Road therapy. We actually have a rack for Heritage.
Yep.
Yeah, I've done it before. It's cool.
So all you need is just to get the right rack, and then it'll use our tour pack.
Frank, here's your chance. You enter the contest. You're right down the street. Think of all the content we can make if you win. Frank just literally got his road glide this week.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty badass. Can't wait to see it.
Nice.
Yeah, really, really sweet. So I'm sorry, Bert. What?
Having black parts.
Yeah, I told him he's got to have the big stretch bags. Go all out.
Hell yeah.
Hold
What
on,
do you?
guys. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Okay.
That's a question. Robert's got a question. The lowrider S thing. I think that was one of the things on their list, but yeah, they can only do so many, so many things. I was thinking a product for them to do that would make sense, that would be practical right now, is all the new Sportsters. The tank isn't a tank. It's just an airbox cover. Right? So, Alan, we were talking about one of the things that could be done with the new Sportsters, Nightsters, all that. The tank is not a tank. It's a plastic airbox cover. That's all it is. It's just one piece. And I think the fenders are always black, right? Aren't the fenders always black? And then the tank is red or gray or black or whatever.
What bike are you talking about?
On the Nightster, the Sportster S, and the others, that's not a tank. It's just a plastic cover over the airbox. The tank's actually under the seat.
Oh, okay.
So you could sell custom painted, designed tank airbox covers might sell like crazy for the Sportster Nightster group. Because they could customize their bike with one piece.
I have to look into that. Yeah.
Yeah, you could change your fenders. You can do a wrap fender.
But you don't even have to, because the fenders are black no matter what color the bike is. So all they have to do is change one piece, and that's all the color there is in the bike.
But who buys a Sportster S?
Motor Noggin? I mean, that's the only person I know.
Yeah.
He's got one. Yeah.
So, RV Biker, the contest is on Advan Black's. I think it's is it on your official Facebook page, or is it on the review page?
Official Facebook page, but you can see it on Facebook page too, because we share the post there. But the place you would post your story would be on a Van Black Harley Parts Review.
Okay. So if you look up Advan on Facebook, you'll find their parts review, and that's where you're going to want to enter the contest.
Correct.
So what is this? Monkey with the shorter, one with monkey for the shorter bags. Okay. I like the CVO bags because George has them and then Bert has them. And I personally like, because the stretch bags, you can't use the, go ahead and feel free to flame me in the comments. What are the bag protectors are they're the saddlebag protectors, right?
Yeah, the crash bars.
The crash bars.
Crash bars. You can only run those on the CVO bags.
You can't use them with stretch,
and
right?
with stock style side covers. You
Okay.
can't do stretch side covers with it. And Bert's not running a CVO rear end. You have a Dominator, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. George has the CVO style bags, and then Bert has the stretched ones. They're both cool looking.
Yeah.
I mean, it really depends on your style.
True.
It's not a phone. It's Alan's PC. Has messenger open for communication. Me.
No, he's not. He's playing a video game. Group. He's playing Candy Crush.
Do people still play Candy? He's playing Pokemon.
Yeah, anybody still playing Candy Crush?
I don't think so.
Oh, my God.
Oh, someone said I'm wrong on the Sportster. Oh, Snake Venom. I'm wrong on the Sportster S. That's actually a tank. But the Nightster, it's a airbox cover.
Okay. So, did you get a chance to watch the event? The live stream with the new Harley bikes?
Well, I haven't got I haven't watched it.
I was just curious your thoughts.
I saw the new models and colors. I think they're pretty nice, especially that yellow on the road cane. That's pretty sick.
Probably. Was there much today that would affect Alan's business though? I mean, like, he already knows about the orange. It was already released. I mean, I'm just thinking colors, because you're not going to match the anniversary color because they're two-tone and stripy and stuff. So was there anything today that affected his business? Probably not, right? I mean,
Well, the thing that I thought might, in a positive way, is they're really pushing even more the customization in those packages. You know, if I think that that's a win. I think that the idea of putting together a customized package for people that don't want to do the work to hunt for parts would be pretty cool. Like let's say you could do a full body swap and floorboards. Do you know what I mean? Like you could just purchase it all in one and not have to worry about it. I don't know.
Anyone here has a Sportster S?
No, this
well,
is
it's a
a
nightster. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I misspoke. You want somebody that has a nightster.
Oh,
It's 9:16 at night. Nobody with a Sportster's up this late.
anybody has
No,
a
nobody with a Sportster has gotten up yet because they go out at midnight and because they're kids.
Oh, they're all wired at the coffee shop. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
no.
stroke your beard if we need to dial 911.
They start their shift at Starbucks in the morning, so they
Oof. Shots fired. I think it's pretty interesting that they're starting up with that collection thing like Victory and Indian do. I don't know. For some people, I guess it's cool. To
all
me,
they're
I think
doing is
you're-
bundling things together for one price. It's just existing parts that they just said now you buy it all at once for. Someone said $39.90 for the.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think if you stay with the same collection, it kind of makes it look. I don't know. It doesn't make it look thought out. I think you need to make it a little interesting. Wait a minute. You don't say listen when you're sober, really, Bert? Come on. Can we get just one?
really,
I've said
man.
before, drunk Bert is the best Bert.
Oh, there's no doubt. Drunk Bert
Sober
groups
Bert
you.
kind of
It's
sucks. I mean,
yeah.
like
You
I
set
gotta
up
say,
live
like,
in February, and I'll be drunk Bert for you.
let me tell you, we got to tell George that a sober Bert live stream is just riveting. It's
Well, but he complains when I'm drunk, so
in a minute he's gonna start knitting.
let me get my needle point.
Right.
Yes.
Can I ask you, like, where are we streaming this right now?
This is on YouTube.
Oh, okay. So you can. Okay. It doesn't
I will.
seem like it is.
You don't follow the channel, probably.
I'm sorry, Alan. What was that?
It just didn't seem like it's YouTube from the screen here.
Oh yeah, it's YouTube.
Cool.
It's on YouTube and it's being broadcast on screens at the urinals at strip clubs across America
And to all the ships at sea.
and all the ships
Okay,
at sea.
They block YouTube in California.
Oh
don't
shit!
they? Oh, snap.
But
Damn! Hey, girl.
How you doing, dear? You bring some class to this group of hooligans.
He's there trying to work and we're like half. Well, we're not. By the way,
Alan's always working. That's what makes him good at what he does.
well, it's
'cause he's always
California.
working.
He's in California, so it's 6:19 there. So it's not even.
Sir,
I'm
how
not
you doing?
working.
Bri, girl.
I don't know how are you doing.
I need to refill my drink.
What do you need?
Red Bull vodka. I'll get it. You
The,
want to
the beard,
drive?
the
while
side
we're there?
chat has spoken. They want you to say something, anything.
Who wants what to wear?
Listen, the side chat people have
Oh,
clearly
come
never
on,
been-
draw it out a little bit. Let's
Exactly. See, every time I open my mouth, Bry cuts me
I'm
off. It's like
good
watching
now.
the troop in Dallas, man.
What do you want? How many shots?
You're killing me.
I don't know. A lot.
Here,
3.
3?
Yeah.
speak your mind, De Beard. The floor is yours.
Nah, I'm done. You keep cutting me off.
Oh, Bert, you're making me sad.
Sober Bert is angry.
I need you to make bad decisions and stuff.
Couple more weeks, man. Couple more weeks.
Bert's a lot of fun to hang out with.
The first live stream of February, it's gonna start. You're just gonna see the top of Bert's head. He's gonna be laying on the table before it even starts. He's just gonna be down like.
Oh. I think that's cool. I think it's great that you're doing some good stuff or doing great stuff with your business, and I think it's unique.
Whose business?
You.
No, yours. I think it's really cool. Like you can do a total bike swap, and I think pretty much anybody could do that. I think that's pretty cool.
Thank you. I think
The easiest part's the tank.
Monkey
Yeah.
Monkey played a pretty big role in planning this idea, and to me, he's been talking about this for the last 3 years, even before he left.
I was just like, you make everything. Why don't you just have like bundle it so everyone can just change the color of their motorcycle or whatever the hell they want, like that, you know?
Right.
Thank you, man.
Because it didn't occur to us before why we needed to make a outer fairing when everybody already has one. And then Monkey one day out of the blue said, well, why don't you just make the outer fairing and then you can change the whole color? And I was like, yeah, why don't we just do that? And the next thing we know is like we're setting all the parts to Sturgis and we're doing the demo over there. And, you know, that was that.
So Alan, how many? I'm sorry, Monk. Go ahead.
The only thing I was going to say, and then I'll shut up, was that one of the things that came from that was one of my viewers saying, I got rear-ended, and I'm thinking about, instead of doing body shop stuff, like, why don't I just buy an Advan rear end? You know, it'll be cheaper than Harley parts, and it'll be stretched. And I was like, exactly. I go, and I just on the phone was like, and why don't you change the color while you're at it? And this guy was like, holy shit. He was just like blown away by, well, what color could I get? I'm like, any one of the 90 that they have on the website. What color do you want it to be? And the only thing it was missing was the outer fairing. And he was like, well, I can just find that someplace else. But then it was like, well, just if Alan makes it, then you can just change what color you want it to be. You know, like.
Right.
So
Yeah,
Alan,
that's true.
how many times does Monkey call you a day? Be honest.
He doesn't really call me. I call him, you know.
Okay. I just pictured him calling you like 5 times a day. Got this idea.
Well, you shouldn't message me, because if you do, then I go, by the way, I had an idea.
Yeah, he kind of does that. You know, when you talk to him, he always like has some new ideas that he was like, you know, why do we do this? Why don't you do that? And I was like, yeah, it's a good idea, but, you know, we just have to get to it.
You can't make everything. You know, I think people don't realize that it costs a friggin' fortune to develop something new.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
Like I remember a long time ago, one of the things I said was, oh, you know, you make floorboards that are cool and the body stuff and all that stuff. Why don't you make like air cleaners? And he was just like, because it's not that simple. Like, you know, you can't just.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, speaking of air cleaners, right? I think there are so many out there that people can choose from, and it is quite complicated if you have to make one custom one that with your own design from scratch. Yeah, it's not an easy job. But and every time you develop a new product, you're taking a big risk because you have to spend the time, the prototype, and then the mold and all that, and then there's a big investment, and then it turned out to be a flop. Then all that time and money just like go down the drain. But at the same time, if you don't try something new, then it gets boring, because if you're only doing things that are safe, right, it gets boring, and then you just you're just a boring company. So you're gonna have to strike a balance. You know, for us, we always try to allocate a certain percentage of whatever income that we make for the year, for next year, to develop something that, you know, we never tried, but you might fail, but we'll try anyway, that kind of things. So that's why in the last couple of years we've done the seats, we've done the floorboards, and, you know, that try to do something different every year. If it works, then we'll try more. You know, so we'll always look at customer feedback and see, you know, what kind of stuff that they like to see from us. But at the end of the day, it's always color match products.
So Armando asked a good question that I think people don't realize, and that is, you can go to the website and buy any part in any color. They don't care what you're doing with it. So if you want a 19 or 21 inch wraparound fender in Tahitian teal, and you want to put it on a Road King, go to town. The issue you're going to have, Armando, is your gas cap is on the side on a Road King, where it's in the middle up until recently on Harley dressers. Alan, you're working on a side gas cap cover though, right?
We're working on a side gas cap tank cover. We already have the side gas cap tank console.
Okay.
But I mean that is basically just plugging that gas cap hole.
Yeah.
You're putting it on a roll king, then you have to figure out the whole like gauge.
You got to use a stock dash. They just have to use their stock dash,
right?
Because the speedometer's in there and the for now.
Exactly.
But so as soon as the side gas cap, you could do a whole color swap on a Road King also.
Right. It'll be easier. It doesn't have a front outer fairing and all that.
Yeah, everything else. The only problem you have is the tank. But
right.
I think it's cool. I mean, Drew, like I said, if you didn't know De Beard's bike looks completely custom, from the boards and everything. I think it looks really cool. And it's hard to get an appreciation, I think, in pictures. Like when you see.
You want to ride it, Bry?
No, I'm not worthy.
I
gave up riding 103s like 6 months ago. Sorry.
Oh,
damn!
Went for the jugular on that. Like
as George famously quoted, there was no one that jumped the ultra ship faster than I did. I'm a joiner. I bought a road glide so I could have friends. Well, that's why I bought the Harley so I could have friends. Didn't work, but
right.
So anything under 2014 you can't swap out. Is that correct?
Oh, you can swap out, but we because we don't have the parts for the whole bike, but we do have some parts. So if you are, we cannot do the whole color swap. But if you're looking for bags or something like that, we have.
Okay.
Them. Yeah.
Yeah, Sick Bagger Steve's done videos on how you can take bikes back to 2010. Is it?
Well, you can buy a 2014 and up saddlebags and put it on a 09 to 13.
09 to 13, yeah. You like flip the latches upside down or something, and that's how they fit. Yeah.
But if you don't want to deal with that, then you can just buy the 09 to 13 bags. That would just work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Monk, apparently you made Jason spend all his money.
It happens.
I'm the pusher man. It's like I'm a drug dealer, except I don't get none of the money. I don't understand how this works. Like, there's Joel Harrison in Illinois, JH Choppers. He sends me messages all the time laughing, going, do you have any idea how many of them damn emblems I've had to cut since that video because they're beautiful. And his another one, I tell him his prices are too low. People kill me for that. But those emblems, the Harley CVO style cutout emblems, you can get them in edge cut black or chrome. They're heavy. They feel like jewelry when they get there. And I think he gets $150 a pair for them.
Okay.
And he CNC machines them. They have the perfect curvature for the tank, and they work on your tank covers, Alan, too. Like they still, you can just put it on the tank and just move it, and then you just feel it all of a sudden. Go, that's exactly where it belongs.
Oh, really?
The curvature of the emblem matches the tank, and he gets $150 for those. I'm like, dude, those should be $300, $400, $500. Like.
I'm still looking for emblem because the stock one doesn't work on the tank cover. The long one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the long one, yeah.
I mean, you can kind of force it to work, but it's not like perfect fit because the curvature is not the.
I'll send you a link, Alan, because Joel's work perfectly. He's like, I did those as a favor. Now I can't. Like, people just keep trying to buy them these videos. So I'm like,
they work on your tank cover.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Because the curvature of the tank cover you get from Alan is just slightly larger to fit over the tank, but we're talking a micron. It's nothing that's detectable. So that CVO style emblem fits the curvature of the tank cover.
A small one, the badge would work, not the long one, because then you have a perfect match across.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried, but I could have probably made it work, but probably the glue that I used wasn't very good, so it popped off the next day.
Yeah, 24 hours is not good. That's not a good test if it only lasts a day. Like that, you know.
But I like the stock ones though. Like they're heavy. They're like a heavy metal like type. You know, they're not cheap.
Yeah.
So Ray had a question. What year seats do you? So your seats are 2014 and up. Is that?
No, I think it's a big range.
Okay.
But for the exact, let me tell you the exact years.
Armando, not that I've seen. Someone probably makes it, but it's going to be fiberglass.
Nice.
It's going to be uncut. You're going to have it painted. Like it's more of a hassle than it's worth, you know.
So for touring, it's 08 to 22. So basically, the same like you know, for the whole generation of the touring platform, basically.
Well, there's your answer, Ray. Oh, you need an 07. Okay.
Hey, put up RV Barber's question because he's asked it a few times.
Where
a custom horn cover,
Yeah.
color matched horn cover, not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea.
no, not at all.
What about custom match rims?
Oh,
I've been telling you to make wheels for years. Like,
yeah, you did.
I'm like, you need to have wheels also because it's all custom shop stuff. So wheels fall into that category.
It might happen this year.
That'd be cool.
Oh,
it might happen this year, and it's if it happens, it most likely with some color match colors or something around the rim.
Oh, that would be sweet.
Don't quote me on that,
but
oh no, you said it. We're gonna replay the video. That's how it works.
But we're trying to push it. Yeah, we're trying to push it.
So those of us that are chromaholics, there'll still be chrome too, though, right?
Yeah. But see, the thing is, like, there's whenever we talk about new products, and there's so many like uncertainties because there are things that can happen like down the line that stop you from actually, you know, putting it into production because you're dealing with the styles, and then now you have the prototype, and then now you have the production, and then all the logistic things. And if you know any one area doesn't work perfectly, then you're like, you know, can't really go forward. And then you have the shipping over here, you know, stocking and all that. Yeah. So
I agree with Jedi that they would sell out fast. That's a question. So let's say you come up with a concept tomorrow. How long does it take you to get to market with that?
it really depends on the product itself.
Okay.
Yeah, and the people that we work with to get us the materials, to get us the parts and all that. And I mean, once it gets to the point where we just paint it and pack it, that's easy. But making the parts and get it to us, that's, you know, unpredictable. So it really depends on the product. And for wheels, I mean, we're trying to do something that we're trying to get into. So we really don't know what to expect in terms of time frame or how long it takes. Yeah.
I think it'd be awesome though, because it's one-stop shopping, right? I could get bags, I could do a color swap, I could get wheels. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I think anything that we could do a color match to make the bike looks more custom, like as far as the color goes, that's where we want to try to get to.
Okay.
So Crimson Glide said do a swap exchange program, dude. Jason from Coastal Moto is a wheel manufacturer, and he does that at shops, at shows. I'm sorry, like Sturgis and stuff. He buys your stockers off of you, and not for a whole lot because they're not worth much. You know, stock wheels aren't. But I cannot imagine the amount of labor and pain in the ass it must be to haul all those worn at all the wheels are perfect. No, they've all been curbed or, you know what I mean, like. They're all these like warped wheels with worn out tires, and you're trying to dump them on eBay or something. And so an exchange program it just isn't worth it. You know, like I wouldn't imagine. I could be wrong, but Because what do you do with all that, let's be honest, junk? Scratched up fenders people are going to send you and saying, oh, it wasn't scratched when I put it in the box, and, you know, that kind of crap you're dealing with all day. So,
Well, that too, and who would want to take their bike apart and ship it out in hopes that nothing's going to get damaged to the parts? I mean, that's a risk. It's a huge risk.
I think it'd just be more pain than it's worth, and I got no skin in the game at all. You know, like.
So with your seats, Alan, are we going to see different styles? Any chance of a step-up seat?
We are exploring different styles.
Okay.
So very likely you're gonna see more different styles later, but it's not something that we have a schedule to say, okay, well,
Yeah.
but we're gonna have a new style every quarter, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, so if we like a style and then we decide to make it in production, then we'll make it happen. But it's just like, before that, it'll be just us playing with different styles and see like what actually strike the chord for us.
So I need to file all my questions through Monkey so he can call you at 4 a.m. with his ideas. Okay.
You can call me yourself. It's okay.
I can remember, this is a funny story. I can remember in Daytona, this guy walked up and he wanted a fender or a stretch bag or something like that. And we were just standing there BSing. And the guy seemed normal and sane at first. This is Florida, mind you. So you never know.
First?
Florida man, pops out at you. But we're just talking to this guy, and I can't remember if it was me and you, Alan, or I can't. We were sitting there talking to the guy, and he's like, "All right, so I'll go ahead and take a Dominator fender in, amber whiskey." And we're like, "All right, well, you go to the website and you buy the fender, or Keith or somebody will place the order for you right now if you want."
Right.
And this guy lost his damn mind because he was like, "You mean I can't have it installed right now?" Like he was just incensed, and I was like. They make 90 colors. Can you imagine how big the trucks would have to be behind this tent for them to have fenders and saddlebags and shit like in 90 colors, like back there? Like, I don't know how the fairing exchange does it.
I mean, I think at the rallies, a lot of people are so used to like carrying the cash in hands and then walking around and just like pick up something, whatever they see that they like, right? And when we started going to rallies, we get a lot of like people being surprised at us not having like inventories at the place. They come here, it's like, you mean I can't buy it? Like you don't have anything? Like they're like, why are you here? So yeah. I think that's just how it is at rallies. It's like you're supposed to just like go to a vendor and be like, take it now, I'll give you 20%, right?
Honda's got a point. The Road Glide CVO fang fairing, that will fit right on the Road Glide 3. That's the same bike from, battery box forward. So, can't think of a reason why it wouldn't fit. You're going to have holes in it. No, you're not, because the fang fairing, one of the attach points is the chopped crash bar. And it doesn't have a crash bar because it doesn't lean. You know what I mean? The only reason that the triglide has a crash bar is because it has lowers with radiators in it. Otherwise, so I'd imagine they don't put the mustache style crash bar on the Road Glide 3. That's the kind of crap I like to think of. Like, oh, that's not going to work because of this weird little detail, You could put it on there. You just wouldn't have one of the attachment points.
It'll flop around.
It wouldn't be quite as on the bike as if it did,
Tiffany Renee's in the house. Hey, Tiff, how are you?
Hey, Renee. How are you doing, Tiffany? Thank you. Thank you for the comments.
With the snake venom. I think it's a beautiful color.
It is.
So, Monk, what's your next color swap? What are you going to?
I'm going to do a nice chartreuse, periwinkle. Yeah.
What about salmon? I think salmon would be fun.
There you go. There you go. It's on my color wheel. No, I don't know. I've been toying with the idea of getting rid of 2 and getting 1 new one and starting over, just because once a bike is done, I have to get rid of it, right? I mean, if there's nothing else to do to it, then I don't want it anymore. Like I love riding them and this, that, and the other, and I love taking them to rallies and but I like working on them. And if it's got just about everything done, then I kind of get bored with it, you know? So
That's fair.
the monkey doesn't want to copy Jason Momoa. How on earth could I copy Jason Momoa, Ray? I want to know in what way this large, beautiful, bald bastard could ever be.
Well, I thought it was nice that you were filming in happy hour. You have beautiful lighting in your short. That was, you know.
Oh yeah, the golden hour, right?
The golden
I
hour.
I was
happy,
lovely.
Yeah, magic hour. Yeah.
Crimson says I'm going to sell the CVO and die. No, I don't think that's an option. That's you know. You know. But I would let the yeah, my wife all of a sudden comments I heard Jason Momoa. I love this. Like just appears. But yeah, I'm gonna let go of the 131 and the blue douchebagger and I think get something new. Probably air cooled just because of that whole body swap thing is easier without the lowers to worry about. Like I can just, you know, do whatever I want. So
I made this mistake. I'll freely admit it. Should have bought a single color bike. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, DeBeard Allen likes to make fun of me. He thinks I have an old man's bike. You know, I'm not going to argue with him, but
are
he's
your
got the
lowers
cool
all
kids.
red or are they red and black?
They are all billiard red.
You
So
could do
if
the
you're-
whole bike
if
billiard
you're-
red.
If you're thinking what I'm thinking, Pinky, yeah.
You could do billiard red, yeah.
And Katie approved of that because it's still
Are
red.
you still gonna want to keep the two-tone or make it all red?
I think all billiard red would be badass because there's so much I could do with it. Because once you go well, you know that it's just we talked about that there. It's just problematic.
Right.
Because then you got to get the fairing done. Then you've got to get the front
Right.
wheel cover done. It's just too problematic. I think going single all billiard red would be badass.
So Ray was talking about you said salmon, and that's why Ray was saying copying Jason Momoa. I got you now. That makes sense. But yeah, if you so you'd have to change because your inner fairing is gloss black, right?
Correct. And my thought too was I could keep the tour pack the same because it only has that little black line on it. You really wouldn't notice it. And then you could just do the rest of the bike in billiard red. I think it would be interesting.
What black line? What now?
Well, the top of the tour pack, it has a little bit of a cobra stripe. It has a little bit of a stripe to it, but you don't notice it.
So get a new tour pack.
I think if I did it, I'd get the new tour pack logo because the new tour pack top because I actually like where it says Harley Davidson. I like the look of that.
Oh yeah.
Plus, too, my
and
speakers
your bottom of
are
your tour
involved.
pack is all red, or is there black on it?
I think it's all red.
Oh, okay.
I mean, don't for a moment think I have any idea what I'm talking about.
Right. No, we never do. Don't worry about it.
Sounds like you're copying the military biker.
But,
Oh, is that what he's doing? He's
got
deleting black.
the red.
yeah, but unlike the military biker, you can understand me. I love you,
that's true.
military biker. Let's calm down. Nobody's getting killed tonight.
That's true. That's true.
But he's a street glide.
True.
Oh,
It's a
that's
Batwing.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a street glide or is it an ultra?
Oh, they're so cute, those street
Street
glides.
Yeah.
So I have the black here. I'll share this because I'm not afraid to make an ass out of myself. Hold on.
What are we sharing?
So see the black stripe?
What the?
Yeah.
See where I
The-
dropped my motorcycle and
The most important thing to realize is my pipes did not get damaged.
right.
You do know the kickstand's on the other side, right?
That's crazy. What happened to your bags?
It was resting.
It was just taking. Oh, I had the bags off because the pipes had just been put on,
Oh,
and that was right after I had COVID, and I shouldn't have moved the bike. And,
you're trying to angle the bike for the shot or what?
no,
Yeah, it was all for content. He threw his bike down and grabbed his camera.
I just wish that I would have had my my GoPro handy so I could have been like, oh my god, guys, I dropped my bike. I didn't think I was going to be alive.
Right. I mean,
You hang out with George a couple times and you start dropping your bike.
So I love how
Yes.
Satan's child enters a room. Like just walking in, saying hello, seagulling the live stream, you know.
I go a lot further than Dunkin' Donuts. That doesn't mean I don't go to another Dunkin' Donuts, but Dunkin' for the win, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I dropped it. What are you gonna do? Things happen. If
It's,
you haven't dropped it,
I think it's a shame that Monkey couldn't ship his 131 over here next week.
ooh.
Yeah, I'm going to California. We haven't been talking about that, but yeah, it's not a secret. I have a business trip to LA where I go to LA on Sunday and I have to work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then decided to stay through the weekend. And Alan and I are going to bum around. I have a rental bike, and we're going to bum around LA and go to and ride in California. And I don't know, you have to say it like that. And
Why do you have
then,
to say it like that?
I would imagine we'll just be eating sushi and hanging out with them damn hippies that live out there. I'm just saying, like,
There's no more hippies over here now. That was back in the 70s.
Is there any truth, Monkey, that you're going to go surfing in a Speedo?
oh, of course.
I mean, it might be good content.
Am I?
You never know. It's for somebody. I don't know what. I have a coworker from the UK who always says he can't go to the beach because people keep dragging him back into the ocean, thinking he's a whale is going to die.
So, Bert, say something. Come on, come back to the conversation, buddy.
I'm just listening, man. I'm trying to read the side chat because you're ignoring them.
I'm not. Well, there's a good segue. So the side chat. What questions do you have for Alan while we got him here? Let's go.
Oh my God, Satan's child.
A 5 and 3. What did he
No,
say?
Tweedledee wants to know if you're making a 5 3/4 LED headlight. Why you only make touring headlights? Are you going to make a 5 3/4?
5, 3, 4 LED headlights.
A 5 3/4 for a softail.
Oh,
So you're probably not going to make one, right? Because your parts are all touring bike stuff.
I mean, we can carry it. It's just we wouldn't have enough audience for it because most of our guys, most of our audience are touring. But we're trying to get into more softail stuff, and we might carry it. We might.
There's also, I mean, there's a lot of competition in that.
There are so many competitions, and I mean, if we carry something that is already being sold, or we just don't like that. So unless we can come up with something that is like pretty cool and original, I don't know. We have to see.
I like the fairing insert that you have for the Road Glide that gives it that more aggressive look. Bert, you have that, don't you? Or am I imagining that?
What's
Headlight?
that?
Yeah. So
No, the headlight, and then it's got that plastic piece that goes around that fills the
The bezel?
holes.
asshole. Yeah.
I have it. Thanks for spilling that, Brian. Brian, I haven't put that out yet.
Link in bio. Okay, sorry, my bad.
I have the headlight, but I don't have any side bezels. I don't know about that.
I like the.
I get a lot of compliments on that headlight, though. The Knight Rider headlight, I call it.
I have two.
Extended reach solo reps. Okay.
Nope.
Wow. Do you have the 2-up raptor seat already, Apple guy, or is it you're just looking for a solo?
He's got the snake venom. It's a beautiful bike.
Extended reach solo Raptor seat.
I think extended reach would be huge.
So it seems like everybody's looking for extended reach, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I ride a standard. It's okay for me, but
Yeah, I mean, everybody has different preferences.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So Tony,
that'll be on the list for sure.
So Tony's asking you can put the Advan Tour Pack on a Chieftain. Don't you sell the bracket and everything, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
you missed it. I was just saying earlier that I don't know why the chopped exists, because it's not that much bigger than a razor, and it's
Yeah.
not big enough for a full face helmet. So I don't know, and I have a chopped. So, but I'm just saying, like, the razor is almost as big as a chopped, and it looks better. So I'd put a razor on it.
Another point that I want to make is, if you want to put the tour pack tail lights, the razor is too short for it.
Yeah, if you want the big light bar,
Yeah.
then yeah, you need to do a chop. That's true. But the razor, but knowing Tony's a buddy of mine. Satan Stroud's a buddy of mine. We go to Daytona and stuff together. I don't know if you want all the lights in the back of that, but whatever. Whatever you want to do, brother.
Ooh, a dragon theme. That would be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
That would be pretty interesting. I mean, I think the future plan for us is actually to work on more airbrush style. So, I mentioned earlier is that anybody like who has airbrush style, and if you're an artist that can draw really nice airbrush designs, then talk to us, and we may be able to do something together.
Oh, that would be cool. So somebody could call you with their ideas other than Monk?
Of course. I mean, we get ideas all the time, like from emails and stuff, but sometimes it's just idea, and sometimes it's just if you have the skills to actually draw it or like design something, talk to us. I mean, maybe we can work together.
Now, here's a guy that just got his bike this week, and he's already bitching he can't get colors. He's not bitching. I'm joking.
What color's his bike?
It's like shark color. It's gray. So whatever they call the gray
that's a
this
cool
year.
color. It's like a granite
is.
color or something like that. You know what's much cooler in person than I thought it would be? That silver that's almost a frost blue, like it's a very, very, very light blue that's silvery.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty cool color on a black motor. And I'm not into the blacked out, forks and motor shit, but that color on that black motor it's a really good looking bike.
Yeah, Frank's coming over this weekend, so I can clean out my trailer and give him some parts. I'm really looking forward to seeing his bike.
What kind of parts?
I've got a Clockworks windshield. I got some all kinds of random stuff in my shed.
What about the Baja Orange? Anybody dig that?
I love that color.
Ooh.
I friggin' love that color. That is very, very cool. You know what was surprising? Someone said earlier, you guys aren't going to talk about the yellow. We saw it in person recently. It's not what I expected. That yellow is very pale. It's very banana-y. It's not. It's in person. It's not at all what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be Yellow Jacket. You know what I mean? Like a really bold yellow and black. And I thought it'd be kind of cool. And you see it in person, I'm like, that yellow is not what I expected. Like it's like banana yellow.
It's not like a neon yellow. It's not in your face.
No.
You're talking about the CVO, right? The yellow and
no,
black.
the yellow and black. It's just a special.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
I think you can only get it with a black motor and forks and shit, but it's in the pictures looks like a really cool yellow and black bike, and then you see it in person, and that yellow is much more pale than you think it's going to be.
Okay.
It's the same yellow they're putting on the Pan America, which looks freaking weird because it's like banana yellow and cream.
Yeah, I think the Baja Orange looks really good on the Pan Am.
Mm-hmm.
Baja Orange is a really neat color.
Yeah, that's a really sharp color.
And
Mr. Santiago says Pro Monkey signature hand grips via Advan.
Ooh. A Pro Monkey seat with his logo on the back. I'm in.
With the Pro Monkey logo?
Yeah, the
Cool.
Monkey Nation.
I'd have to charge like $1,000 a seat licensing fee. Sorry, that's not gonna.
Would it come autographed by Mrs. Monkey? You might have me.
That's all anyone cares about anyway, And Tiger, no, it's not bumblebee color. It's not at all what you're expecting when you see it in person. But that orange is pretty badass, like,
No, kind of like I don't know how to describe it. It's like mango.
construction worker orange.
Something
It's
like
like
that.
it's like orange construct caution tone orange. You know, like
Oh, they're wait, where is it? They're throwing Chris Venus under the bus because he has all yellow bikes. That's pretty funny.
Jason doesn't want to sit on my face every time I ride. We aren't going to put my face on it.
What?
Nobody wants that.
I mean, you know, maybe that's a thing for some people.
Obnoxious orange.
Alan left us. We must upset him.
I wonder what the difference between Baja orange and Laguna orange is, because they look pretty similar.
The name.
You know, like they don't look that different. You know?
It's like black, vivid black.
Well, vivid black is the same color
sunset
they've
black.
had since 1982 or something like that. Like it's the same paint code, and it's the only color that's free.
True. Well, it's not free, but yeah.
Yeah. I was talking to a salesperson the other day. There's a good friend of mine who sells me all my bikes. And when I said, I'm thinking about, doing something, he goes, so what color would you want? And he didn't even finish the sentence. He goes, what color would you want? It doesn't matter. You're going to change the whole body anyway. I'm like, well, yeah, I don't care what color it is.
Yeah,
100%.
And it really doesn't matter. I mean, I think that it's safe to go with black and then stuff on there and then you change it every year.
Yeah. New bike every year. New
that
bike.
brings up an interesting point. So what's the two-tone colors? What, a 2,500 hour upgrade?
Is it?
People pay extra for that?
Well, I mean, in all fairness, I won a lot of money at bingo that night, so you can just shut the fuck up.
What, dude? What was that color in 2017 or 18? That was a black and gold, not like the new one today, but in 2017 or 18, it was like a black and gold color. The gold was urine gold. Like it was, you couldn't give those bikes away. Like at Alligator Alley, who sells bikes like crazy, like they will gut a deal to get a bike out kind of dealer. They had 3 of those for like 2 years. Only time I've ever seen new Harleys, like new old stock Harleys. That was the ugliest damn color. It was urine yellow and black. It was horrible.
So Jedi has an interesting point. If you're going to spend let's call it 26,000 or 2,600, you buy a black bike, you could do a whole color swap in a unique color.
Yep.
Because that was my thought. If you go all billiard red, they didn't make billiard red that year, that I'm aware of at least.
You can get any color you want. Like my streetglide in 14 was black and cayenne, and that was a really cool color, and it was a 1-year color.
Mm-hmm.
They do black and cayenne, so you could buy a 2023 motorcycle in black, and then turn it 2014 black and cayenne if you wanted to. You can make any color you want.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I think is really interesting. Is you could buy a non-model, you could change it to a non-model year color, which I think would be really cool. Did they ever make a full billiard red bike? I don't remember.
Yeah. The special and the standard, I think you could get in full billiard red.
But they didn't make a limited in full billiard, right?
No, I don't think so. I think the limited were all 2 tones. Yeah.
Who would be considered a golden shower crowd?
What?
Smitty, I don't know. This side chat. You know.
He's right.
Yeah, we found those crowds.
Yeah, I don't. I hear the echo. I don't know who it is, and that's fine. It doesn't matter. It's fine. It's all fine. Billiard blue. 2019.
That was an ugly color.
What was that?
I'm just still reflecting on that urine color bike. It was horrible.
Yeah. Oh, the 2022 special came in all billiard red? Okay, so I have a 2020, so it would be a completely... Okay.
That was a cool bike. I remember the you can get a chrome special street glide in billiard red that I saw in person once, and that was beautiful.
Okay.
It was the whole bike, fire engine red, all chromed out with the bar and shield, badges on the tank, and it was a cool looking bike.
I like the billiard because it's red, but it's not like in your face red.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more subtle. So how?
Brian likes it in his face.
It's color choice in your new bike purchase?
Man.
How much would you pay?
Yeah, when road military bikers bike same color. I was just trying to remember if it was an ultra or a street glide. Alan says a street glide, so that makes it easier to color swap or whatever. But it does change everything, right? Because if you're buying a new bike and you want to do snake venom, bring back Tequila Sunrise, buy a new black bike and make the damn thing Tequila Sunrise. Like you could do that, you can do whatever you want. You can make it Tahitian teal. You can make it, whatever you want.
For me,
you can buy.
I don't know. Like I try to not be too different because like I'm kind of like black and white guy. Like black bikes I like black, and then cars I like white. But at the same time, I know that I have the options to change the colors anytime. So I would probably like go with something that is.
Isn't your car crazy blue though?
What?
Isn't your car like a wild color of blue, or was that somebody else's car that day I was in the shop?
No, my car is white.
Oh, all right. There was a car in the parking lot that was this wild, almost like the blue of where the name is, where it says Celt Fire right there, almost that color. And I thought that was your car. And I went out and got my rental car. Was like, boy, his car is a crazy ass color. Looking for somebody else's car.
I think that's somebody else was taking our parking spot.
Oh, okay. Because it was sitting out in front of the shop when I was there a couple of years ago, and I'm like, boy, his car is nuts. Like,
no, I wouldn't go like or choose too many colors. But one thing though, I probably don't like the bike to be white. And no offense to the people who has a white color bike. It's just my personal preference. It reminds me too much of a cop car. A cop bike.
Okay, that's fair.
But to their credit, I do think that they look nice. It's just not my favorite color. I would rather have a black color bike than a white, given a choice.
Saint Shaw is a good question. Are you going to any rallies yourself this year, Alan? Or
we're gonna be at the Daytona Bike Week.
Oh, you are going to be at Bike Week.
I didn't tell you that?
No.
Oh,
you guys talk 5 times a day. You got to learn to communicate.
We are going to be there. Eddie's going to be there too.
Okay. I don't know if you were going to be there.
Yeah, we will be there. Are you going to be there?
Yeah, I'll be there the second half, not the first half. I went last. So Sturgis, those of you who do or don't know, Sturgis, everyone shows up at the beginning, parties out too hard, and then like leaves halfway through the rally to go home. So last year for Bike Week, I did the same thing. I showed up at the beginning, and everyone was showing up as I was leaving.
Oh.
So it's the opposite for Daytona. So I'm showing up second half because that's when everyone evidently arrives. So.
Well, Alan, I don't think we covered this. What do you ride?
What, me?
Yeah.
I have a 19 Road Glide.
Nice. What color?
Like wicked red. Kind of looks like Burke's. He has a philosophy red. If you don't, it's pretty similar type of red.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are pretty close. Wicked red and velocity red. They're
except I changed both wheels, and he only changed the front wheel.
Well, because I was waiting for you to put out wheels.
Yeah, we're waiting now, and what?
I'm loyal.
What can we hold you to? June, July? I'm kidding.
Yeah, I remember. He one time he told me about the new wheel that he got. It was pretty sick looking.
Saint Charles, I would imagine he's asking if I'm going to do Colt Ford. We end our nights at the campground, so pretty much whoever's playing, then yeah. Because I'm a big fan of not going to jail. Like, I'm a believer in that. Like, so we do our best to like go out and have fun, and then when we decide we're going to go have drinks, we want to be where we're going to pass out, because the popo in Daytona is rather aggressive. So it's got real bad, actually.
I remember there was a cop that was saying something to you last time. I forgot what it was.
They sit outside of Cackleberry. They just sit there and just pull people over left and right. My buddy Bill is a chopper dude. He got, I think, 6 tickets this last Daytona for not having mirrors, not having a horn, not like all the like silly chopper crap that normally cops don't care about because they know you're riding a show bike and so they just let you go. No, not in Daytona. They wrote him for every little stupid thing. So
Oh my god. Why would they do that at a bike rally? I mean, like, you know, everybody's gonna bring their bike, like,
because Daytona hates bikers.
Money.
You know, like it's like the second biggest rally in the country, but they, for some reason, they harass bikers. It's not, you know, not ideal for sure.
Bert, didn't you say they were doing that at OC? They were banging people left and right, weren't they?
I didn't see any of that this year.
Okay.
Now in the past, they were down by the inlet. They had a whole thing set up to pull everybody over with high handlebars. They were just down the street pointing at people. And they all had like these. Every one of them.
So you can't have 25-inch bars like Monkey? Is that what I'm understanding?
Correct.
19 and a half.
Damn you. I felt
What's up,
so
Blackout?
cool for like that much.
Now Sturgis, the cops are, I swear to God, they're just there to keep you from dying. Like that's all Sturgis cops are like. If you start pulling out of Main Street and you're wasted and wobbling, you're going to the clink. Like they don't want to take someone out. And then that one ride from downtown out to the campgrounds, out to Glencoe and all that stuff, we call that running the gauntlet because there are cops everywhere pulling people left and right just to make sure they're not drunk. But that's all they're worried about is DWIs, and they're not worried about your pipes being loud or your bars too high. Like that, they went through that phase several years ago, but that was short-lived and they quit that crap. So,
right. I want to answer RV Biker's question. We're gonna have at least one or two bikes over there at our booth in Daytona. So,
well, Eddie's bike's pretty slick. So,
yeah, Eddie's bike's gonna be there, and then depend on whether Steven's gonna be there. It's probably most likely gonna be bringing his bike as well.
probably the super stretch bike, right? Just to show that it's coming out, or
If he's going there, yes, most likely. But I'm not signing up for him yet, so we still have to confirm about his schedule. I'm doing great. Blacked out, Bandit. Haven't seen you for a while. How are you doing?
So, Monk, will we see your bike there at the Van Blacktown?
mine.
Yeah.
I will have my chopper there, and then whatever I own dresser wise. But in Daytona, if I've made a change, it won't be anything you're gonna want to see. It's gonna be like stock in March, like because I gotta finish the damn chopper by Daytona.
Okay.
So if we were just talking about that tonight actually. If the Mrs. Sister goes with us, I'll have to bring a dresser, depending on what I own at that time. I don't know what it'll be, because she's my backseat. So and I'm not going to put her on a freaking king and queen seat on a chopper, and that's a little mean. But if she's not going, I might only bring the chopper, because again, anything I own, if I don't make a change, then yeah, maybe I'll bring the 131 bike or something like that. But if I do make a change, it's going to be a freaking bone stock.
Are you going to buy another bike over there this year?
No.
I remember last year at Daytona, Mikey showed up and he was like, "Here's the I just picked up this one at the place, and he brought the Springer." That's when he got the Springer.
I walked up to, "Can I stash my bike in your tent, dude? I just bought this and I can't get it home."
He couldn't take it, and he just like parked at a tent, and it was like, "You just bought a bike just like that?" It was like, "Yeah." I couldn't believe it. It was so nice. So
RV Biker, yeah, I'll be there. I'm sure if Alan's going to be there, then I'll be there at some point, So
yeah, I'm gonna be there on the first weekend though. Like I'm just gonna arrive first weekend, but I don't know how long I'm gonna stay. So
Okay.
So we may not overlap, but so like Sturgis, do you think that if Steve comes in, Steve may come in second half, or is that your plan maybe, or?
I don't know. He hasn't decided yet, so I'm not speaking for him yet. So we'll see.
Dude, Jedi, the funniest story about that Sturgis Cops thing on Discovery Channel they did, it was like Cops, but in Sturgis. You saw hilarious stuff, during the rally, but there was one where they got a call that there were some vagrants on a road. And so these two cops drive out in the middle of frickin' nowhere, which is easy to do in South Dakota. And there's a chopper sitting there and two people sitting on the side of the road with a little fire. And the cops get out and they're like, oh, they're cooking meth or they're doing something or drugs or whatever. And the cops walk up and they say, hey, what are you doing out here? And they said, we're making s'mores. and the cops like, go sit on the hood of my car. So they go and they sit on the hood of the car. They don't search the bike. They follow the rules, but there's no flashlight, anything sitting out. So the cop that's kind of interviewing him's back here, the one searching the bike. He walks back and says, hey, man, can I talk to you? And the cop takes the other cop back of the car and goes, I think they're making s'mores. and they were. These two old bikers, this man and woman, were just in the middle of nowhere making s'mores for some reason. And they were like, I guess we got to let them go. Like, there's no law against chocolate. It was freaking hilarious. Like, I think they're making s'mores.
DeBeard, hang on a second. I'm trying to share your picture, but I gotta change something. Hold on one second.
Brian, 70 grand pickup. Oh, you're silly. You think it was only 70 grand?
Why can't I share this? No.
Hey, Alan, RV Biker's got a good idea. I mean, you've got stuff like floorboards and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's not color matched.
The floorboards are badass.
He's just saying you should bring stuff that's not color matched that you could sell.
Right. We could do that. We could do that.
Bring floorboards. You could bring
lights.
Lights.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that road glide headlight would probably sell pretty good there. That thing's cool. I like that.
Yeah, we could do that. Maybe this time we can ship more stuff over there.
Bert, that picture's on Instagram, right? Because I can't get it to share properly.
Yeah, probably.
Let me look for it.
Bert, take a shot for all of us, please, for the love of Christ. You just have vodka or something you can shoot? I mean,
that's alcohol, isn't it?
Some adrenaline, anything.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
So we were talking about this earlier.
Oh,
it's about a health thing. So are you no alcohol, or is it about weight loss, or is it about health, or what's the whole?
It's just weightless calories, man. I'm just going dry for the month to kickstart my diet.
No.
Bert, can you throw that picture up on Instagram? And you can pull it after we're done. I can't get it to share the way I've got it set up. Because I'd love to show everybody what your bike looks like, because it's badass.
RV Biker says, just ship everything to my house and I'll haul it for you.
Okay,
and
Alan,
how do I get it from the campsite to there is the problem.
Alan, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Hey,
I really appreciate it.
It's always fun to be on a live session with you guys. It's the first time with Brian, but we should do this sometime again.
Oh, absolutely. We need to do this again. And guys, if you want to hang out, I got nowhere to be, so I don't know what your guys' schedule
it's fine with me. So, Alan, you should tell them all where you're going. It will give you cool points.
What? I'm going to Vegas.
Where you're going, where you're going, like where you're heading to.
I'm going to Vegas tonight for a SHOT Show. They call it SHOT Show in Vegas.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
It's a gun show.
Nice.
It's
always wanted to go.
Gun show. Like SHOT Show is where.
I have a friend who is a vendor over there. They make like gun packs and stuff. So he was like, "Come see us, and I'll get you a ticket." I was like, "Okay, well, I'll do a 1-day trip." So heading out there tonight.
Yeah, so SHOT Show is incredible.
Alan, before you leave, do you mind just plugging your contest real quick again? Because I know there's a lot of people that showed up late.
Yeah. So let me share. You want me to share the link to you or what? Oh no, just mention it, right?
Yeah.
So,
here, hold on. I can keep talking.
for the guys who weren't here earlier, we are giving out a full set of airbrush color swap bundle in a color of your choice. If you have a 2014 and up touring, come to our group on Facebook, Avant Black Harley Parts Group, and then where you can see the details. So basically, the requirement is for you to share some pictures of your bike in its current state, and then tell us a story about you and your bike. It doesn't matter what story; it's just something that is true and genuine, and we just want you to share the story, and then we'll look at it and we'll pick some story that we like, and then we'll pick a winner to give you the whole set of body parts.
I mean, that's a hell of a deal.
So yeah, so don't miss the chance. We still have until February the 12th to enter. Okay, guys.
Awesome.
All right, buddy.
Thank you again.
Awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Alan. I appreciate it.
And have fun and enjoy the night. And,
Thanks,
See you
Alan.
soon, bud.
See ya.
Have a good night. Stay safe.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
There you go.
So that's Bert's bike right there, and it looks 10 times better in person. That is a sweet looking ride.
So Bert, yeah, you could get those JH emblems in black
Yes.
or
I got,
chrome, whatever you want. But I see all your accents are black, and they fit those covers flawlessly. Like they're shaped to the covers.
Yeah. No, I got to order those. I've been looking at them. Dallas sits down to pee.
Damn.
Personal.
I have to say, if you guys aren't in the Baggers and Brews Discord, you need to sign up. It's just too much fun.
Yeah, we need somebody to talk in there other than Moose.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Okay.
Moose bought an Apex. I mean, what more do you want from him?
Oh, did he?
He sure did.
How did I not know that? I didn't know that. Well, right on, man.
He didn't call you to tell you? My phone's been ringing off the hook.
They down here, because it's still I'm not rubbing it in, but people still ride down here. A weird thing we get this time of year is the Florida dealers call up north and buy inventory and bring it down here. So all of a sudden somebody will have an El Diablo, right? Like they're the impossible bike to get, but there's a dealer in nowhere southern Montana, right? That is not going to sell an El Diablo, right? So Alligator Alley or whoever will pay them full retail for the bike. And the dealer's just happy to get rid of it. They bring it down here and they sell it for 45 grand because some rich Miamian doesn't care about money and just pays them whatever. But that's happened twice in the last 6 weeks where Alligator Alley is suddenly going, we got another El Diablo. If you want to come get it. And it's gone in an hour, like,
Wow.
So
That's crazy.
But they'll also get the point is, I think they have like 2 Apex bikes right now, which those are hard to find, but they buy them from a cold weather store. And I mean, you're going to pay something stupid for it. Don't get me wrong, but they got them.
That's good. I know a few people that have managed to grab them quickly from MSRP dealers.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a thing. I mean, the dealers down here, they get a hold of rare bikes. And I mean, if you're just buying a black road glide, you're going to pay, probably MSRP, but if you're buying an Apex or an El Diablo or something, it's probably going to hurt,
Yeah.
Yeah, Moose's bike is badass. I mean, it's a good looking bike. I've seen a couple at the dealer in person. They're pretty sick. So I guess the question is, if you had to buy something from this year's model release, what would you buy?
A black special and put a Sueño body kit on it.
That's fair. Okay.
I mean, really.
Bert?
Well, you talking about like the new stuff or just anything in the lineup?
I mean, anything that's in the current lineup. I mean, obviously the new stuff. I mean, is there anything that really I mean, money being no object, is there anything that drew your attention this
The
today?
red road glide is nice, man. And the what's that series called? The
the anniversary.
the anniversary. I like that one.
I like it. I didn't see all the models. I only saw the thumbnails and all that stuff. So
Yeah, it's nice.
Oh,
like
Amateur
red,
Moose is offended. You did not see his bike.
I'm actually not on Instagram that much. I mean, I post stuff because it's easy from the phone, but I don't like spend a lot of time on it. Like, you know, only so many hours in a day, man. You know.
True story.
You don't want to learn all the hot new dances or anything?
Someone said the other day I should start a TikTok. I'm like, are you out of your damn mind? Like,
Are you 12?
like,
All the cool kids are doing it.
So hold on, let's see if we can do this. There's the man's bike.
there you go. That's nice.
Nice.
That looks good.
Look at
That
that
bike
blazer.
looks good blacked out.
And I like here in the gray how it has the Harley logos. I think that's a really, really cool touch. They did a nice job with that.
Yeah.
The,
So, Moose, are you happy with it? That's what we want to know.
How can you not?
Yeah.
You need to see Monkey flossing. Kelfire, what is wrong with you?
We could be here all night talking about what's wrong with Kelfire.
Yuck.
We love you, Kel. Oh, Mrs. Monkey's back.
That, you know, she just chimes in when she thinks she hears Jason Momoa and then, you know, disappears to play video games or something.
So you think is that it? She was upset that she didn't get Jason Momoa in the event today?
I mean, yeah, maybe. You know, the funny thing is you raise an interesting point. I guess they tried that celebrity angle and just, I guess, I don't know. And I'm not knocking the dude. He legitimately rides and builds and everything else. But I guess they just decided that wasn't the right play. I don't know. I mean, the dude's got like multiple shovels, knuckleheads, panheads, like, you know.
But do you think that, and I know we've talked about that, but do you think that someone that with that sort of star power really helps the brand rather than you going to a Harley event or another YouTuber and having that more relatable influence?
I mean, I'm sure it's hard to say because I'm sure it's a lot cheaper to have a half dozen online personalities who have a few 100,000 people that follow them regularly. It's because it's cheaper if not free, right? You know, because versus him who knowing what I know of him as a person would probably do it for free if there wasn't an agent involved.
Yeah.
As a person, because my cousin works in the Hollywood industry and knows of him and works stuff, and she says he's a freaking nut. Like you can't keep the guy corralled, and so he'd probably be like, "Oh, Harley wants me, too cool." Like, but I'm sure there's an agent that's like, "No, we gotta get paid," you know, like that kind of thing. So, I mean, I don't know if you saw this. He was on a live stream with Demons Row not that long ago.
I saw that.
You know, like he just popped in from like a set where he was, because somebody said they're talking about his club.
What's his name? He's
Native Sons or something. Anyway,
he's part of the he's the international president for Red Rum. I can't remember. He's part of the Indy Ridge program. I can't think of his name though.
But they connected him, and all of a sudden, bam, he's got frickin' Jason Momoa on a live stream under a tree, like from where he's. So I feel like the guy just does whatever he wants, you know. It's but I guarantee, you know, there's an agent that pops in there and says not for less than 6 figures or 7 figures. Who knows what they want, you know, for that. But I'm curious, not to knock the dude, but that clothing collection, I feel like may not have gone over as well. I'm trying to be real nice right now. Like there were pink Hawaiian shirts in there that were of course culturally appropriate for him being, you know, Pacific Island and all that stuff. But the average, dude or dudette who buys a Harley isn't looking for a pink Hawaiian shirt that says Harley on it. Like it seemed a little off, for the
Armando,
actual
thank
Harley
you.
customer.
It's Cliff that's the president. I couldn't for the life of me think his thing. All right, DeBeer, no problem, sir. You got to run. I appreciate it. I appreciate you hanging out.
I'm gonna
Monk,
take off, guys. It's been fun.
Monk, you good hanging out? Or?
Sorry, I'm not as
I'll
fun
hang
as
out, sure.
I'm thinking.
I appreciate it. So February 1st, can we have you back on a live? Just asking.
Yeah, that's a Wednesday.
All right.
Trust me, I've been looking at that date.
We can have him back so we can say, listen.
It's gonna be a mess.
Do it, man. I'm down. All right, guys, have fun. I'll talk to you later.
See ya.
Yeah.
Mike's here. Mike, how you doing, sir? I missed you in the premiere live stream. I was actually trying to get him on tonight, but he is playing darts with Firecracker. So how many?
I'd love to hear his thoughts on that.
Yeah, Mike, if you're around, jump on. I could send you the link.
Where I bought 3 of those pink shirts.
You bastards! You're not supposed to talk out of school.
Poor Alan. He has no idea what he's in for next week. Because I'm like, yeah, dude, we're gonna go. We're gonna go to Jumbo's clown room, and he's like, what? Because I don't know what you guys know of Alan's personality, but he loves bikes, and he loves what he does for a living, and he loves designing new stuff and all this other stuff. But he's not a nut like us. You know what I mean? Like he's very socially conservative, kind of quiet person. Very reserved. He's a lot of fun, but and I'm like, we're going to Jumbo's Clown Room, and he's like, what's Jumbo's Clown Room? I'm like, one of the most famous, seedy old strip clubs in Los Angeles. Like we're going. And he was like, oh, okay. And then I go, we're going Friday night. And then he makes the mistake of saying, oh, yeah, that's my birthday. I'm like, like,
boys, put the cameras away. It's about to get ugly.
Yeah. Jumbo's is fun. Like, you go in there, you drink $3 PBRs, and, it's about that big. And it's been there for, I think, 50 or 60 years.
Oh, hold on. I just popped up. Mike's actually going to come in. Hold on a second.
Cool.
Let me show you my 15 minutes of fame. Look at this. Me hanging out with a real biker guy.
I mean, that is okay if you think so.
He was really nice. I mean, you can say what you want about them. They're really nice guys.
I've heard he is.
He was very humble and very I can't remember who's the guy that does all their CNC stuff. Corey or something like that.
No one anymore.
Yeah, well, are they done? I don't remember.
Yeah, they're done.
Okay, I didn't know they were done.
Yeah, no, I have actually heard that Senior is an all right person, and I met them all years ago. Back when the show was massive. Like they were at a table, I think at a big bike show in St. Louis, and they were all sitting there.
I think when I went, it was like 4 to 5 years. The place was dead. Yeah. And Paul came out and was like, as nice as could be, just had nowhere to be, just hanging out with us, which probably having nowhere to be may have been the bigger issue, but
not a lot of demand, yeah. But yeah, Armando, the only bike that is missing, the Road King Standard so far is gone. I might be right. They have that restaurant by Bert's Barracuda in Tampa. I don't know if he's actually physically there, or if that's just a licensing deal, or good night, Dallas. I don't know what the story is there.
Yeah, I am interested for Mike to jump on and hear his take, because I mean, that man knows so much shit. It's crazy.
Group is absolutely right. Paul Sr. used to build bikes in the basement of his house.
Yeah.
Like forever ago. So yeah, he was pretty legit back in the day. And I remember one episode, the only one that sticks in my head is when he built
Paul Sr. used to build bikes in the basement of his house.
Oh, we got echo.
Yeah,
hang on.
Yeah, Echo was my cell phone running because I was watching you guys on that as I was listening to you as I was driving home.
Damn it, man. Don't you do YouTube? Don't you know how this works? Thank you so much for joining. So what do you think?
So are we asking what I think about the 2023 models, or what exactly are we asking what I think? Because you were just talking about something about being a nice guy, and I'm going to tell you, I know somebody who bought a bike from them and he didn't get done right.
Well, yeah, who's Beards and who's the guys they always do the crazy stuff?
Easy Company?
No, they're in Pennsylvania. It's Beards and something. I don't know. But
So
yeah,
what
they
is
said
it
it was
we're
basically
asking
a
what I
crate
think
loader.
about, though?
What did you think? I saw you in the side chat of the announcement. I didn't get a chance. I was sitting in a meeting, but so what was your thoughts?
So what were my thoughts on the launch? I am really surprised that we only had one CVO at launch. I mean, a lot of the stuff I did a video about the road glide three-wheeler a few days before, so I expected that.
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised by it. I wasn't surprised by the sportster S. It was exactly what I thought. I'd already heard the breakout was getting a 117 in Europe, so I thought there was a chance it would come to America maybe again. So that wasn't a surprise. So really the only big surprise to me was we only had one CVO at launch time. And they made a comment in the video when they were talking to Tulane about there's more coming. But why, and how many years has it been, Monk, since they launched and didn't have all their CVOs at launch?
My only thoughts, I'm sitting back thinking from a marketing professional's perspective, and the only thing I can think of, that's a really good point. The only thing I can think of is that somewhere in a room, a marketing branding person is saying, we need to focus all on the anniversary. Go all in on the anniversary bikes. And so anniversary bikes, and only show the anniversary CVO. And then maybe launch this regular CVOs in a couple months. Because if you think about the flow of the video, if you did like anniversaries, here's the anniversaries, and then now all of a sudden you're trying to redirect to the streetglide CVO and the Road King CVO and the, you know what I mean? Like, I wonder if maybe that's their thing. I don't agree with it, but I'm thinking maybe somebody thought that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's strange to me because you normally, we know this from making YouTube content. If you give the golden egg in the first 2 minutes, everybody clicks off and they're done.
Yeah.
So you got to save the golden egg for the end. And that wasn't really the approach they took if the anniversary editions are the golden egg. But I don't know. I'm curious why not the other CVOs? I was not terribly surprised that the Pan American 975 wasn't mentioned. I got, since I did a video on it about a week ago, I'm hearing a lot of noise in the wind that there was some reason it didn't come out in 2022. So if there was some reason it didn't come out in 2022, whether they couldn't make the weight and the specs that they thought they needed to for the price they needed to or whatever, then they may have said, hold on, we're going back to the drawing board. We got to fix this, or this, or else it's not going to be worth coming out with. And I heard a year ago, because I had said 2 years ago when the Pan America was launched that they need to be working on a middleweight adventure bike. I heard a year ago that if they couldn't make it smaller and cheaper than the Pan America 1250, there was no sense doing it. It was a comment to me. So
I was just thinking, how much weight can you save just by shaving 300 cc's off?
Well, that was the thing. I did a video about this, and I said their biggest problem they're going to have is hitting the weight limit. The GS 850 is over 500 pounds. It's like 540. The 1250 Pan America is like 540. Or I'm sorry, the GS is 504. So like a 35-pound weight difference. So to get close to the nearest heaviest middleweight bike, they got to shave 35 pounds off. And the Sportster S versus the Nightster is like a 12-pound difference. So there's not 30 pounds in the motor to shave. So where else are you going to get it? And if they
I think they got to break below 500. I think the night it's got to be below 500 pounds, so it starts with a 4. That's all that matters.
It's got to be below 500 pounds, or it's got to be over 120 horsepower. Because if you can do Ducati 993's horsepower and be a little heavier, then there are people that'll buy it because it's Harley Davidson and they have the dealer network and everything else here in the U.S. But if you can't get anywhere close to the 504 that the GS is putting out and the same horsepower, then you might as well not make it, because that's all the conversation is going to be about. The other thing I thought, I wasn't particularly surprised that they didn't talk about this Highway King, but the Highway King came out in motorcycle.com's article. The VIN number was exposed, or whatever, the VIN ID stuff, in Australia first. And then somebody this week sent me CARB information for California's Air and Resource Board or whatever. And they have it listed on there, and they show it's a 114. So that's going to be a 114. And it's the Highway King, which, if you go look at the bike, I think it looks, it's an electric glide Highway King, but I think it looks like you could take a Road King and you could make an icon model out of that looks like that bike pretty easily. Same kind of seat as the Revival. It's got the windshield and the tri lights up front like a Road King standard does. So I'm thinking that's going to be either a limited edition bike or it's going to be an icon bike. And it's just somewhere along the way, they filed the lettering and the VIN ID stuff at the same time as all their other models. So it leaked out instead of waiting.
It would make sense that it's an icon bike, that it's a FLH Sport, maybe even a Road King with a tour pack and white bags or something like that.
That's the Elvis bike, right?
Yeah, the Elvis bike, exactly.
Which
would make sense.
The come last year, and we got El Diablo.
Yeah.
Sorry, say it again.
I said a lot of people said we were going to get the Elvis bike last year as an icon bike. There were several videos stating that. Jerry, the pro rider or whatever, had said that in a video. I heard it from other people. We were going to get an Elvis bike, but I wonder if they were planning for this year and people got the whisper, and that was for this year. It was for the 2023.
Yeah. Makes sense. I mean, it would make sense they're going to do another nostalgic, but with a Road King kind of bike. But yeah, I think it makes sense to be an icon, not a model,
The other thing, I was really surprised. I mean, Harley's, me and Bry talked about this last year, how they tell a big story, a big presentation, sell you the lifestyle, not just the models. I mean, as much of the presentation's about that as anything else. This one was 18 minutes. Normally it's 45 minutes or close to.
Right.
And so their story was much shorter. There was a lot less storytelling, and they jumped into the models within, 3 minutes, the anniversary models. And normally there's a 5 or 10 minute, history. And I thought with the 120th anniversary, there was no way they wouldn't tell a big story about everything they've accomplished and how they've led in the 120 years. And they packed that down in 2 minutes and went on. And I was surprised by that. And I don't know that it's good or bad, but I was surprised by it.
Do you think they're saving that for another event? Because they keep saying more is coming.
Right. So me and Monk have talked about a mutual person we know that's related to Harley Davidson. And I had actually been talking to him a few months ago, and he likes Chris Stapleton for music. And I said, you should check out Cody Jinks. Cody Jinks is an artist that's growing. I've been following him for 7-8 years. I said, well, go check out Cody Jinks if you like Chris Stapleton. And he did. And then today, right after the launch, because I follow Cody Jinks on Facebook, I see an announcement. Cody Jinks is opening up for the Foo Fighters at the hometown rally in Milwaukee in July. And I'll comment, I'm like, well, now I really have a reason to try and find a way to fit this on my schedule, because I would really like to see that concert at the 120th anniversary as much as anything else that I know they may do. I mean, I'm thinking they'll probably, like that icon model, that would be a great place to launch it. If they can get the 975 right and they haven't just totally canned it, that would be a good place to do that. You fill the city full of old school bikers and then give them a middleweight adventure bike to go, pull out 10 of them and go do demo rides. Yeah,
that's a really good idea, right? Because you sit on it, because that's what they said last year. They kept saying about how the anniversary was going to be so big. Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're sitting on something big. I mean, I don't know.
I think this Highway King will be big as far as from their perspective, what sales will be. But I think that's going to be a big announcement. I think that'll be at the anniversary event. I mean, the other thing, the home rally was in late August or early September last year, and they moved it. They moved the date back to middle of July. So why did they move the date back to the middle of July? Unless it's got to do with they want this announcement out before Sturgis or be during the riding season when they can still sell bikes, not at the end of the riding season like September. Because once you get into October, people are less likely to spend big money on a bike and then only get to ride it for a month and store it, at least up north from here on up. You know, in most of the area, that's fine. But
yeah, this anniversary, I'm not going to make it. That there's too much stuff to do, and to have something the month before Sturgis on the other side of the country, there's just no way. You know, like
Well, I looked it up today, and it's 500 miles for me.
Oh,
so, I had not planned on going, but we came. You know, I talked to somebody, and if they can get us motel rooms, if they can help us with that, then I will burn out Thursday night, stay somewhere on the road, be there by noon on Friday, have all day, the rest of the day Friday, and all day Saturday to enjoy the event and cover it a little bit. And then I'll have to burn out Sunday morning and haul back. But for me, it's about almost the same difference as riding to Adam Sandoval's campground, which we did. We left there at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning and we're home by 6 or 7. So it's not like we get in at, really late or really dark, and it'll be in summer. So July, there'll be plenty of daylight. So it may make the riding in the Ozarks tour list.
It'd be cool, but there's just, I mean, for me, it'd be a flight because, first off, riding it would be, I don't know what, probably 3,000 miles, 2,700 miles each way, and then taking the RV, you're still looking at 4 days each way, and I got Sturgis 4 weeks later. There's no way.
Yeah,
I could fly out there and back, but I could fly up there, hotel it, just go to concerts, have fun, and fly back. But I can't afford another frickin' trip, man. I got the Sturgis in August, and then smoke out in September.
Well, you got 18 bikes to support too.
Right. We were going through a live last night. We were talking about all the events that we're going to, and we've got a full plate this year. I don't know that I'll make it to Stubborn American this year just because of the number of vacation days, because we're doing Sturgis this year. On top of Bikes Blues Barbecue, Bike Fest, the Freedom Rally, just things, so Cycle Showcase. So did you change hotels? Because somebody said you were staying at Union Station now.
I am staying at Union Station now.
Okay.
Oh, no, I just unleashed his stalkers. Damn it.
I was at something else before.
Home 2 Suites, which they said no refund, so I'm not moving.
No, yeah, and we're not that far apart. We'll just whatever.
No.
Because I planned. The funny thing is that for CSSTL, I'm flying in Friday night, and I'm just gonna frickin' Uber around.
Well,
so
that's what I was
I'll get drunk with you wherever and just pour myself into an Uber, and then
you won't have to get an Uber. We're only going to be 1.5 miles away. I got an extended cab F-150 if you can stand a ride in it. So
that's fine.
You can ride with us.
Because we're not that far apart. You're maybe 10 minutes from where I'm staying, from Union Station. So
and Bates, Bagger Bates will be there. He said he could drive too, so he's bringing the car. So we'll find a place Friday night if you don't. We just didn't know what your agenda was.
And one of my very best pals of 20 plus years is still home. He's still in St. Louis. So I don't know if he was planning on going to the show or what. Probably would, but it's
Friday night. They're doing if you haven't seen, they're doing a Meet the Builders party at some bar that is like, 100 feet from the Oyster Bar downtown on Broadway.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because when I showed Firecrackers, he's like, that's next to the Oyster Bar?
So, I didn't know where it was. I knew there was that event, but I didn't know where it was. But I'm looking forward to that show, man. Like, I'm really looking forward to it because it's home. It didn't exist when I lived there. That show started after I moved away. Chris and Heather are going to be there from Cycle Source. It's going to be a good time. And, there's just a lot of friends I could see that are probably going to go to it now. I mean, the problem is you go to St. Louis and my family's all there. So I have to somehow go, all right, family, I will be at this bar at this time. This is your one chance to see me for an hour. Otherwise, I can't go to all my aunt's houses and all this crap. That's it. So.
Yeah, somebody said Cody Jinks and Foo Fighters is amazing. Absolutely.
Green Day's playing also, I saw.
Yeah,
Wow.
and that I like Green Day and I like Foo Fighters, but see Cody Jinks, because I've been following him for 7 years. When I first time I saw him, he was. Do you know what the Blue Note is in Columbia? Have you ever been there?
Heard of it. I haven't been there, but I've
Yeah,
heard
it's
of
a
it.
little like it's an old the building was maybe originally a movie theater because it's got a balcony like the old movie theaters have, but they've stripped all the seats out, bar in the back and stage in the front, and that was the first place I ever
That's
saw
cool.
him. You literally there was no security. He could reach down off the stage and shake your hand and whatever else. And then he's grown from there, and where now he's playing in stadiums and stuff. But I'm sure as a St. Louis guy, you know the old Rock House.
Oh yeah.
So I watched him at the old Rock House like the second or third year I started following him right there in St. Louis. And I mean, we're 40 feet away, and you know what that venue's like. It's small, it's packed, and stuff.
Yeah.
So I've been following him for a long time. So it's really cool seeing him making it and getting to open for bands like this and stuff.
Zan said, I need more sponsors. I think what you mean is I need a sponsor.
A sponsor. Yeah, I know that feeling. But
Well, Dominic said it's not that far away, which I think implied he's paying for the trip. I don't know.
Right. He's in. He's,
I mean, if you're going to invite me and own a company, I just assume, right? So Mike, I gotta ask, because I know this is going to fire up Sidechat. What is your thoughts that they've come in hard with the Road Glide, especially with only releasing that as the first CVO? Do you think that was a message, or do you think that was just happenstance?
I don't know. I don't know that I want to read too much into it. The Road Glide's been gaining in popularity the last few years. 3 years ago, I'd have said probably the Batwing was more popular. Now I think the Road Glide's a little more popular, but kind of like Monkey said, they're the same bike with the different fairing.
Oh, absolutely.
Before, and I'm not a shark nose guy, but I don't hate them. It's just, when I turn around and look at a bike, I like that one better than that one, and that's the one I ride. So, I don't know if it's sending a message or, if it's happenstance. I think they did. And if you look at what they did for the anniversary editions, they did a Street Glide, a Road Glide, an Ultra Limited, and instead of doing a Road Glide Limited, they made that a CVO. So I think what they wanted to do at announcement time was have, a bagger in each of the fairings, and then they wanted to have a touring bike with a trunk in each of those, but they had already planned on doing the CVO Road Glide Limited, so that's the anniversary model for that particular bike.
Okay.
I think the other CVOs, I said it when this whole thing about the Road King being canceled, would be cool to do a CVO Road King. They did that in, I think, 2005 was the last time they did it. So that would make a cool bike to do and not have it any other way, but you can only get it as a icon model or as a CVO, and it's going to be the 114 because the 114 is what is in the carb documents for the revival bike. So they could do a 114 or something special edition, limited edition, whatever.
The last Road King CVO was not that long ago.
You think it was 2010? I know it wasn't 2015. It was either 2010 or 2000 or not 10.
Yeah, it was a 110.
Yeah. So 2000
modern rear end. So it's actually got to be
2008
or 15.
14.
Because it was the modern toilet handle bags.
Yeah. Here's the answer. Google.
But yeah, so I think probably what they did is they just looked at sales of the Ultra Limited and the Road Glide Limited and said which one is more. That's what becomes the anniversary CVO.
Yeah.
Because what one are we selling the most of right now? That's what's going to make. I think it's far simpler than any of that. But
right.
And I don't believe that when the Road Glide came out redesigned in 2015 that it attracted new Harley Davidson buyers. Mm-hmm. I don't think that it created new Harley owners. I think that everyone had bought the Batwing for literally 60 years. The Tour Glide was ugly. The Road Glide that was up to 2013 was much, much better, but still not as good looking a bike as the Batwing. And then in 15, the new Road Glide fairing comes out. It looks much better than it ever has, and it's different in different matters. And so everyone jumped on the Road Glide, bandwagon. and people, but people are fickle, man. They go back and forth. And it may not even be they go back to the Batwing. You may have the weekend warriors who never ride. The cool thing, maybe choppers next, maybe sportsters next, maybe something totally different. You never know. I mean, I saw a meme the other day that I was freaking dying laughing.
2013
cowboy
was
hat.
the year. 2013 was the last year for CVO Road King. It's in the chat, but that's what Google says also.
Okay. Which is weird because it had the bathtub handles on the back. Anyway, I have a buddy that has one. I used to put my trash in the saddlebags when he wasn't around, so I know that I had this. But this meme I saw that I still think one of the funniest things that seen forever was a picture of a kit of a big belt buckle and a cowboy hat. And it said, just like that, everyone who wanted to be a biker because of Sons of Anarchy now wants to be a cowboy because of whatever the hell that show is. Name of the show.
Yellowstone.
So it is people are fickle and they just flop to whatever direction that so you just never know, you know.
Whatever the fad is.
I do believe the chopper fad is gonna come back, and it's not just because I've always wanted one and now I'm finally building one. But I do just see more and more young kids chopping sportsters, welding hardtails onto them. Like it's kind of a very hipster thing to do now to build a sportster chopper.
Well, and the breakout's back. That's a kind of a stretched looking softail. I mean, I heard you guys ask a question.
Cars on a breakout. That's a badass looking bike.
Yeah, somebody. I think you asked the Beard as I was driving which bike out of the new lineup he would pick if money was no option. He could pick one. And I have a touring bike, and I don't want to trade my touring bike off, whether it's just sentimental value or whatever else. So I wouldn't pick a touring bike. I would keep my 16 Streetglide that I've set up the way I want. So if I was going to pick a bike out of the lineup today, it would probably be that breakout in Baja orange with the little black on the tank. I think it looked sharp.
It looks like the Road Glide CVO from 22.
Yeah, and a 117.
That's a light bike too. That sucker's got to move.
I think 682 pounds. I was looking at the specs today.
I'll also say that is one of the worst handling motorcycles Harley Davidson has ever made, though.
Worse than the new Fatboy?
Gotta be. The rake is so far out on a breakout. My buddy, now his was a twin cam, so his was the older one. He came over one day. We're screwing around on the bikes. I was fixed something for him, and he was like, "Take it for a ride." We rode it for like 10 minutes. I brought it home, and I was like, I don't know how you have not jumped a curb, like it just doesn't turn. Like, you're just like you're just fighting that thing down.
That's the way I feel about the Fatboy. I did a demo ride on it at Lake of the Ozarks, and I took it through a roundabout, and I was like, I'm done with this thing. I mean, I felt like I was fighting it all the way through the roundabout to get around the roundabout. And then I rode the Road King afterwards, and it just tooled right around. And it's just that back tire is so big. It wants the straight line, and I'm used to it being out here in the Ozarks. I don't want a bike that I get a fight in a turn. I want it to drop on its knees when I push.
Well, one of the things that they made reference to in today's premiere is that bike's the bike that'll get you attention when you go get gas. I mean, they're obviously marketing it to a certain demographic.
Bar hopper.
Yeah.
It is the ultimate bar hopper, but a 240 fat tire with that rake is a recipe for the worst handling motorcycle you can ride. Like it just is. There's no way around that. The chopper I'm building right now will probably ride only slightly worse.
Yeah. So
interesting.
So
Mike, what's your thoughts on this small displacement Harley they've been talking about?
So we know that 300cc one has an RA after the model designation, which stands for Riding Academy. So that one's going to be a Riding Academy bike. That's what that's for. And I think that one's coming first. And it's, we've got these Street 500s that are getting aged out in the Riding Academy. They got to replace them with something. It's a parallel twin. Some people think they will bring the 500cc over eventually, and that maybe you'll be able to buy the 500cc as an actual, legit model. I don't know. I mean, that's going to be a hard sell for some people, but for people that have no history or any emotional tie to Harley Davidson already before they go take a course, then it might be fine. But for everybody that's ever rode V twins, they're not, they're going to tell their wives or their kids, oh, that's not really a Harley, because it's a parallel twin.
And we hear
I'd take
that
one, put
argument all the
knobby
time.
tires on it and use it at rallies to get around campgrounds.
Right. I mean, I'm not opposed to it, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I think I'm not sure they'll make it a production bike in the US because of that stigma of it's not really a Harley because it's a parallel twin. It's not going to sound like a Harley. It's not going to feel like the Harley. And I don't know if they want to dilute the brand here in the US. Now, other countries, I think that's probably a lot more likely they would do, especially India and places where if you get over 45 mile an hour and you hit a rickshaw, you're done.
Yeah.
You cannot dethrone Royal Enfield in India, though. It cannot be done. Indians are as obsessed with Royal Enfield as we are with Harley.
Well, when they had the plant in India and they closed it down, I did a video about it and I got a lot of comments. I got emails even from people in India. And there is people in India that want Harley to succeed. They want it to be a rival to Royal Enfield, but a lot of the comments I got said that the quality for the bikes that were built in India were poor. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And what they were trying to, I had to kind of work on some translation stuff, but what they're trying to say is like the production control quality control was bad coming out of the plant in India. So the bikes they were selling were having to go back for repairs right away within months, leaking oil, things like that. Things we don't see. You don't typically hear anybody buying a new Harley Davidson here from the dealership and taking it home and it's leaking oil in 2 months. I mean, everybody likes to make that
$2,900.
Right. They want to make that joke that Harleys leak oil, but most modern Harleys don't leak oil if you maintain them for thousands and thousands of miles.
But when you're in New Delhi or in Agra and in Mumbai and you're riding around and you just see a bunch of Chinese crap bikes, and then you see Royal Enfields, and they just freaking love those bikes. They're obsessed with them. The dealers are everywhere, and I have friends and colleagues that are in all over India, and they're like, that's our Harley, like that's our bike.
So because I watched for the New Bike Mike channel, I watch a lot of manufacturers channels, and I don't watch them just in the US because a lot of times something breaks loose in another country that is a tip to what might end up here. Europe gets a lot of their bikes before they get announced in the US from Honda and metric manufacturers. So I watch these others. So I'm subscribed to the Harley Davidson channel in India, and they do videos on there that are all people in India and big celebrations and big packs going down the road, just like Harley Davidson does for the US, but it's for that culture.
They get outside the city. Those are also super rich people, by the way. They get outside the city and they ride the highway, and then that's it. But I didn't see a single Harley my last trip, not a single one, the entire time I was there. So, but I can't even tell you how many Royal Enfields I saw. But then again, times 100, I can't tell you how many junk little 125 Chinese bikes I saw riding all over the place.
Little scooters.
Yeah. No, I mean they're bikes, they're motorcycles, but they're the family car. 4 people are on them, and
Well, there's also a big push. Like some of the new small CC bikes, they're a motorcycle, but they are fairinged out and plasticed up like a scooter. They're a motorcycle engine, not a scooter engine and transmission, but they're plasticed up and they're designed for more utilitarian purposes.
Before I made this last trip, it was hilarious. Our friend from Harley said, "Do you want a bike when you're over there? I can see if I can get you one." I'm like, "No." I wouldn't drive a car in India, much less get on a motorcycle. Like they just,
Yeah,
like, you want me to die?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
We've all seen that video where the guy rides into what looks like a puddle of water and the bike just disappears.
Just
like comes floating out.
Yeah, like no, there's no way in hell. Like there's one day we drove from Delhi to Mumbai to see the Taj Mahal, and once you get out of Delhi, it's like a 3-hour drive on a divided 6-lane highway that doesn't have any traffic on it, that's smooth, and all that. That would be fine and dandy. And evidently that's where the Harley riders ride. They just ride back and forth to Agra. But they go nowhere. Oh, well, don't wait. Whoa, what are you doing? You're sipping on a shot glass. That doesn't.
Well, somebody made a comment in the sideshow. I was just.
but you couldn't pay me enough, you know, like to in those cities to ride a Harley. No way. Not
Yeah.
anything bigger than a nightster, you know.
So if we're gonna quote you, Monk, are you saying that a Sportster is a third world country bike? That's what I heard. I'm not sure that's what you said.
You know, Bri, I used to like you.
A lot of people used to like me. I mean, it's what my ex-wife says about me all the time.
No, I am if I wasn't such a big dude, I really liked that new Nightster S. The flat black Nightster S I thought was one of the neatest bikes in that whole reveal. Like, I know it sounds stupid, but it kind of looks like an old school Sportster.
Have
The
you owned
wheels are
one?
cool.
Have you got to ride a Nightster yet?
No, dude, I'm too big for that. I would feel I'd feel ridiculous. I know I'd hate it. So
Monkey on a football is what you're saying?
not even.
I rode one. I rode it
Oh,
at demo at Bike Fest. I mean, I try and ride everything that's new comes out if I get the opportunity, just so if I'm speaking about it, I'm speaking from a little bit of knowledge.
Yeah.
And I really like the ergos on the Nightster a lot better than Sportster S, and they make a reach bar for it. And if you had the reach bar on, I think it would be a cool little bar hopping go-getter. I mean, that thing winds up at 7,000 RPMs where you feel it kick in instead of at 3,000 like your V-twin. At 7,000 to 9,000, that thing wants to rip, And it was fun to ride.
It's a little V-twin sport bike motor. Like
Yeah,
it's like a little duck motor or something like that.
I sat on one at the International Motorcycle Show in the Sportster, and the Sportster S rather, and I felt like a gorilla on a Grom. It was terrible.
I didn't get a chance to get a drink. I came straight in here and got on the stream.
Well, go get it. Oh, hold on. Go get a drink. We can take a moment.
Right, talk to everybody. I'll be back.
Everybody just left me. All right. Well, that's fine. So, guys, thank you so much for showing. We're not leaving yet, but I appreciate it. So, where's Dominic's thing? Hold on a second. I'll share the link. You guys, what you guys need to do is you guys really need to, if you're in the Pennsylvania, New Jersey area, what have you, you really need to check out Dom's shop. But not more importantly, but you need to check out New Hope. New Hope's a great place to eat, drink, just to have a good time. I'm going to put it in the side chat here. That was mean, Moose. Oh, what is that? Peanut butter?
That is the salty caramel. I got 2 of those for Christmas. I'm saving one of them for Cycle Showcase. I know Monkey's disappeared for a second, but I've got another bottle for Cycle Showcase specifically. Brand new. We'll untap it up there.
I had the peanut butter whiskey was it my birthday last year? It might have been the year before.
That's even got a...
That was ugly.
Oh, I'm on the wrong camera. So you aren't using StreamYard, and I couldn't figure out how to set the camera. So it's using.
Dude, I'm not a fan of this program. Camera. I was texting Brian before he started going, I can't figure this crap out. What is that?
Oh.
That's my little Harley shot glass with some of that salty caramel.
There you go.
But don't worry, I got a fresh bottle that I'm bringing to St. Louis.
Yeah, I got this on a deal when they had it. But yeah, I just signed back up for StreamYard. I'm done.
Yeah, I did see where it gave me an option to choose what camera, and I have 2 cameras. I've got my good camera, and then I got a webcam.
So, Mike, show Monk what you're showing me.
This.
Look at that.
Salty caramel. Old Smoky.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be good.
Oh, you know what's a tragedy? Our last live stream, we had some Old Smoky, the cream stuff. I had banana cream pie, and I had something else. And they were in my little freezer thing I've got here, and they were delicious, man. So good. And I turned it off and forgot. And let me tell you, that is a cream product. Oh, I opened that thing like a couple days later. It was like fumigate the house, like it funky. Butter pecan was the other one. Butter pecan and banana cream pie. Oh my God, it was good.
So that cream stuff, I had not tried that, and somebody brought it to the camp out that we did last year. So I don't know if you've of you guys saw, I was talking about last night. I got it on Facebook, but we're going to do an Ozarks camp out at this campground that's about 40 miles from me, 35 miles from me. It's a really cool place. They've got an in-ground pool that's saltwater. There at the campground. It's on top of a mountain, right there by the scenic riverways, right off of Highway 19, down in the floating area south of Salem, Missouri. And they've got cabins, RVs, primitive tent camping, you know, RV spots, you know. So we're going to do a camp out there in June of next year and have a good time and sit around the campfire and drink at night. During the day, we're working on it, but we're going to try and do a ride on Saturday to Uranus from the campground. And to get to Uranus, we have to go through another town. So it's going to be called the Licking Uranus ride because we're going to go through Licking, Missouri to get to Uranus.
Okay.
Well, in order to get to Uranus, it should be some drinks involved and perhaps dinner.
Yeah, we're thinking. I'm thinking we're going to see if we can maybe get a sponsor, make some T-shirts up that says, you know, Licking Uranus Ride 2023 or something. And we'll ask everybody for a donation to do the ride and give out whatever T-shirts we can or sell those too or whatever. And then take that money and donate it to like a prostate cancer related charity.
Yep.
Okay.
I thought that'd be cool.
That's a good idea, actually.
Speaking of T-shirts, I was on somebody's. Oh, it was the night it was on Doc Harley's live. I walk out of the closet, and when we were in Daytona, and I got this tattoo for Biketoberfest. The guy who was tattooing in Willie's Tropical Tattoos from Oklahoma, friend of Willie's, and he brought T-shirts from his shop in Oklahoma. And I love to buy T-shirts from a shop that I've gotten a tattoo at. It's just something I try to do. And his T-shirts say, such and such tattoo shop, tattooing whores like your mom since 2010. I'm like, I got to have that T-shirt, right? So I walk out. I'm getting ready to be on Doc Harley's live. I walk out. My wife goes, you are not going on Doc's live wearing a T-shirt calling everyone's mom a whore. Why? And then she was like, he may not appreciate that. So I went back and actually changed shirts for Dr. Harley's live because I didn't want to offend. I have a whole collection of shirts that's only motorcycle rally. Like I don't only wear it.
You're welcome to wear that shirt on any of my lives. My kids used to hate it when I'd take them shopping at Walmart, and I've got one with this gal in a skimpy outfit standing next to a motorcycle, and it says Milwaukee Vibrator. And I'd wear that to the grocery store. Because I got two daughters.
I've got one that says, because fuck you, that's why. Just big letters. And, you know, I have a whole collection of shirts that are really only like motorcycle rally appropriate. So Daytona's a problem, though, because Daytona is not, in a lot of ways, it's not real. Everyone likes to use the word real. A real motorcycle rally in that it's in a huge city that doesn't close. You know, like it's still a major city regularly operating with trucks and shipping and people going to work and everything else. You're having a motorcycle rally in amongst a couple million people that just live there all the time, and it's just any other day to them. Sturgis and Leesburg and other places like that, the regulars rent their houses out and get the hell out. So it's just the bikers that are there, the bikers and those working the rally. So you can wear shirts that say, like, you know, your mom's a whore and this, that, and the other. But in Daytona, you go to the grocery store, you kind of feel guilty because it's just Tuesday to them, you know, like, but.
You reading the comments there about the bearded clam shirt?
Are we doing shots?
Am I turning into a liberal? Yeah, it's me. Free hugging hippie. We're doing shots. We just did shots.
I didn't do mine.
Why didn't you do your shot, Brian?
Because I was trying to pay attention to the side chat and lost track.
Amateur.
That's fair.
Oh, God damn it.
I mean, you don't want to be
We just
left.
want to give you a taste of what St. Louis is going to be like.
Funny thing is, any second you're going to hear from the other side of that door. No.
Hi, Mrs. Monkey.
My first meeting isn't until 9:30 tomorrow. So.
Oh
I
God,
got-
you're. At least I'm
We're
working.
going to be on
from
the road
home.
at 8.
You're gonna be so here's the funny thing. I have to go back to my local chopper builder again tomorrow No, I'm building my own, but like he's got to make my seat pan for my king and queen, and
Dancing Queen.
I asked him to just go over the frame. You know what I mean? Like you've got it, just check all the welds and yada yada. But I went all the way there and forgot the sissy bar today. So he's like, "How am I going to make the damn seat without?" So I got to go all the way back there now. But
Corey,
Well,
I'm doing ASMR.
I still have to finish editing a video tonight. I'm only halfway done with.
Oh, it'll be
Just do
fun.
what I do, bud.
It's all
Don't
fine.
edit.
Yeah.
There you go. Ooh.
I mean,
Editing's
most of them
overrated.
click off after the first half of the video anyway. So, if I get halfway through, then nobody will ever notice that the rest half isn't done, right?
There you go.
No, someone said earlier that they know to just forward to the end because you just gave away the golden nugget secret. So they're just going to go watch the last 10 seconds.
Well, I'm going to do another video where I'm going to do another giveaway, and I'm not putting how you win at the end. So it's somewhere in there, and you're going to have to scrub through to find it.
So my wheels and tires I got done for the chopper today. That was very exciting and made it real. Because all I've been doing is taking shit apart. Like I'm not as qualified as you are. You know what I mean? Like I
don't know about
modern
that.
stuff. The funny thing is how like the guys that I'm friends with that build choppers, down here, they are terrified of what I do, tearing into a modern road glide or and tuning with a computer, and they're just like, oh my God, no, that's terrible. But then I watch what they do, and I'm like, oh, I don't know how to 4-wire an old chopper, so it's been fun. But this one, the wheels being put together today, the tires mounted and all that stuff, that was fun. That was seeing new parts that are going to go on. And although no one told me that vintage style tires are taller than new tires, so I may have a problem.
Sidewalls.
Yeah. So, it might burn the fresh paint off the rear fender the first mile I ride it, but that's fine. We'll work with all that.
It's all fine.
We started last weekend reassembling the Sport Glide. The brushes that the guy that's going to leather the tank came in this week, so we've got to wet sand the tank and the fairing and take that because we're not putting the emblems back on the tank. It's going to get hand lettered.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
So she's getting hand lettered tank and fairing. She's getting something for firecracker on the fairing. She gave the guy that did my airbrushing is doing her pinstriping and her lettering and stuff, and he's going to do something on the fairing. And she just told him, whatever you want to do. He's very good, so she just gave him full reign to do whatever. He wanted to do something special on the fairing, and we're still waiting on cables for those KST bars that we ordered to come in, so we can put the bars on. But I have a feeling come Cycle Showcase, if the cables aren't in, you're going to hear about it because she's going to be. It's all I'm going to hear about. Is, where are my cables coming in? When are we going to finish putting my bike together? It's starting to get warm.
Well, it's cold. You're not going to ride it yet anyway, right? I mean, that's just
Well, she has got to ride it come April to Spring Fling. So it's got to get back together come March no matter what.
Well, I have a bike that's in a million pieces that I have to ride in 5 weeks. Like, it's got to go in the rig on whatever that Tuesday, what is that, the 6th or something like that? Like, it's got to go in the rig to go to Daytona for the Willie show. Like, it's so, I mean, thankfully, I was too pig-headed doing this, going like, nope, it's going to be me. Only my hands are going to, I just wanted to be like, only my hands touch the bike. I had something to prove to myself. And that's still the case so far. With the exception of the welding checks and stuff. I can't do that. And the paint. But all these dudes are like, dude, you're going to get stuck. You're going to have 48 hours. You're going to call and just make sure you got whiskey, and we'll come to the house and we'll do anything you're stuck on. We'll get her done. And so the tire thing makes me nervous because Bryn today was like, well, from Coker, you can get a short vintage tire. But I looked and they don't have it anymore. So a 5-inch vintage is all there is. So I just got to hope that sucker clears,
Yeah, my thing would be, I would be worried about, hopefully I know you got all those parts and everything shipped, a lot of stuff ahead of time, but when something doesn't work, you got to fab it or you got to order something. And with the way supply stuff is, That would be the thing I would see that could bite you more than your time or knowledge. I mean, you got 5 weeks that you can build a bike in that, even if you have to have somebody come over and tell you which way to turn the bolt, and you do it. But what happens when you can't get the part? This doesn't fit like it's supposed to, and you got to fab something. And
the thing I've got going for me is that the front fender, rear fender, even though the front fender's not going on it, the forks, the trees, the frame, the rear fender, and sissy bar were all together before. You know what I mean? Like nothing's changing there. Like it's just the motor was in it, like all that. So all I'm doing is changing the tank, repainting the frame and tins, rewiring it, new wheels and tires, new brakes.
Wiring
new
is not
controls, new bars.
Right. I mean, if you run into a problem with wiring, you can always get around that with wiring. It's not got to be the exact right thing. Whether you got to splice something or solder something in or whatever to get around the problem, but. So you'll probably be all right.
And I'm not going to have turn signal.
Brake cables and, those kinds of things. That's what we're waiting on is ABS upper brake line, and clutch cable, upper clutch cable. Nobody had them in stock.
I got a new clutch cable, but I'm reusing the brake lines. They were already the right length, and so it.
But, clutch is optional. Just slam shift.
What's that?
It's a clutch is optional. Just slam shift.
That's true.
It's good. It's got a built-in quick shifter. If you're fast enough.
It's a 4-speed. You can just beat the hell out of it.
Everybody gets excited about. Oh, it's got a quick shifter. It's got a quick shifter. I'm like, I've been quick shifting for years. If you just
every bike has a quick shift. You just don't use the clutch.
Right. You just don't use the clutch, and you just snap the throttle.
And when you shift, be committed.
Right. Not halfway. All the way, baby. I'm going deep.
Brace yourself.
So
I'm on the Advance site picking out my new bike. Don't mind me.
Yeah, I was playing Darcy tonight. I started getting tagged by all these people about this Advan giveaway for a whole body swap.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. Like
Monk's trying to break me.
If you could go back,
I don't know what I would do. I mean, I've already got a black street glide and I've got custom airbrush. If I was to do a body swap, then that custom airbrush fairing would probably go on the wall as decor. It's very special.
Yeah.
A memory for people that I rode with that have passed are on it. But so I could make decor out of it. But then what color would I do?
Any one of the 90. That's the wild. What year's your bike?
16. So I mean.
Oh yeah. So you can.
Plenty.
That's the thing that when I was first started hanging out with Alan and doing parts and stuff, I was like, if you just made the outer fairing, you could anyone could change the entire color of their motorcycle. And he's like, I never thought of that before. I'm like, you could literally take any year of 14 and later bike, no matter what color it is, and any one of the 90 colors they do, you can make your whole bike that color, even if your bike was never made that color.
Yeah.
Like, do you have any idea how wild that is? Like, I have a 16 Road Glide in the garage that's a 22 color because the whole body was done.
So $2,200, I can go full billiard red. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm digging it. I think actually that would look badass because that's a really sweet color.
So do you think they got red heirloom fade yet?
They only do solid colors.
Do you see? I don't know if you follow Paul Yappy, but he's doing a build and they've replicated the El Diablo paint.
Yeah, he's got an original FXR anniversary edition that he's doing the El Diablo in.
Yeah. That's cool.
Dennis Kirk's garage build site. I was going through the other day and I was laughing my ass off at the irony of this. So if you go through the page, so only Dennis Kirk can post to it, right? So the videos they want to share and stuff. And it was me, for some reason, doing because I'd used some of their parts. Full Throttle Hog, because he talked about the rally schedule for the year. And then Paul Yaffee. And that I just saw that was freaking hilarious because it was like fat dumbass in Florida in his garage, a talented videographer, but the fact that he had the most complete rally schedule for the year. And Paul Yaffee on the same page was like,
I know. I mean, I did one of the videos I did on the 23 rumor stuff. Matt Laidlaw commented on, And I've watched him for years. Matt Laidlaw commented on my videos. The first thing it goes through my head, but I see his comment.
That's pretty cool.
It's cool. And then today he was in the side chat and he came in. And I said hi, and he said hi back. It's it takes a little adjustment getting used to the fact that I don't consider myself big, and we know in the YouTube world we're not big in the grand scheme of YouTube, but just channels that have been doing this for years that are a lot bigger, starting to know who you are, or saying hi, commenting on your videos. So,
well,
Alan
the
was just
motorcycle
talking
piece
about
of
him this
YouTube
morning.
is this big. You know what I mean? Like, well, not even motorcycle. The Harley part of YouTube is that big. Like,
oh yeah.
so a big YouTube channel has 200,000 subs in our world. Like that's a superstar. Like.
What and there's a channel I don't really watch, but he's in. I don't know if he's in the Missouri side or the Kansas side, but he's in Kansas City. 2 million subscribers on motorcycle, and nobody in the Harley side talks about him. Have you ever heard of Walterific? Yeah,
I have, and I don't know where.
ATM, Super Dukes and stuff like that, and he appeals, I'm sure, to a younger audience and stuff. But he's from Kansas City area. When I first saw his videos, when I first started doing my YouTube channel 3 years or 4 years ago, 4 years ago, when I maybe found him, I started my channel 3 years ago. He was still in Kansas City. Then he moved out east. Now he's back in Kansas City. He kind of slowed down on the YouTube thing, and he had a video out the other day. He's just going to do what he wants to do. He's working a regular job. He's not trying to make a living off of YouTube, but he was at one time with 2 million subs. He was just living off YouTube and stuff. And, his content, some of it's interesting, some of it's not my thing and stuff. But yeah, there's guys out there with 2 million subs that do motorcycle content, and some of us have no idea they're out there still. YouTube's a big, vast ocean.
So Drew, I missed it. Sorry, buddy. That off the side, he said, what size wheels? It's a 16-inch rear and a 19-inch front. And the rear tire is a 16-inch tire with a 16-inch wheel with a 5-inch tire, which is vintage size, and it should fit. It should, but I haven't put it all back together yet. I did a 19 on the front because when you have a 9.5 foot long motorcycle with a 14 over, a 21 can go a little wild at interstate speeds, I'm told. I don't know.
Well, Alan's going to make wheels this year, so we're in.
Not for a chopper, he's not.
Well, he should.
That's what people got to understand, man. It's got to be enough people want it for him to make it. They don't get that. Like, why don't you make a foot peg for my 1979, blah, blah, blah. Like, well, because,
Right. And some people don't understand. I've got a friend he's won a couple of national build-off contests. I don't know, Monkey, have you ever heard of a blue-collar build-off? They get a donor bike and they get like $2,000, $3,000, and they've got to build this out of whatever parts they have laying around their shop, and they can't spend more like $2,000 or $3,000. But I've got a friend here in Missouri who's won that twice and came in second or third once. And, so I've seen his build bikes and stuff like that and the things he goes through. And it's like some people don't realize that, your wheel, it makes a difference whether you have ABS or not, because the bearings are different sizes for bikes with ABS than bikes without. So it's not, and for the touring models, they've all got ABS, but not in the softail models. Sometimes it's an option, sometimes it's not, or it's standard, or it's an option. And I can't remember what model it was, but there was a bike here just in the last 24 months that Harley went from being ABS standard to being optional. They didn't increase the price very much, but they took ABS away. It was during COVID.
Okay.
It's the rear wheel, and the motorcycle tire is a 5-inch tire, and that's standard. Like back. So, but what you're doing is putting vintage tires on a bike when there were no options, right? Like a 16-inch wheel had a 5-inch tire. That's it. That's what, if it was rear application, I think it was 3.5 inch. If it's front application, I think it's 2.5 inch. And that's what I'm doing is old style wheels and tires, which when Paco designed this frame, that's probably what they intended, even though that's not what was on it. So that's the only issue, but I'll figure it out one way or the other. But
did you see this? Ocean Glider says we won't say it. YouTubers won't say it. The Harley missed the mark this year. I think different YouTubers will say different things. I guarantee you, there'll be a grind my gear segment that says it, whether he no matter what, because he never has anything positive to say at the launch. I don't know why he even watches them. He says he's got negative things to say before it ever starts.
Well, that's his shtick. I mean,
Exactly. And that's why I don't like him, because I shouldn't say I don't like him. It's why I don't watch him regularly, because I don't want to watch negative content all the time. You know, it's just not.
I mean, sadly, that's there's a large percentage of YouTube that does that. You know, it's all clickbait.
Right. It's just
It's
not
like that
for me.
asshole that put a video out on how to fuel your motorcycle.
Yeah.
Lori,
Well, and
Lori
I had.
Ocean Glider, sorry. Ocean Glider said they missed the mark. It's not that I won't say it. I'll say anything about anybody anytime. I don't give a fuck.
Well,
I don't know. I feel like we haven't seen everything, so I don't know if they missed the mark or not. That's the thing. Like, it's like I feel like
it was
there's
half
so
a
much
reveal.
waiting for mid-year or something that I don't even know. If this is all there is, yes, they missed the. You know what I mean? Like, this is a bad year if this is all there is. But I just know that's not the case. You know.
Right. I think it was like a half reveal.
Yeah. Gremlin, the Goodyear Eagles for the chopper. You can only find 4-inch new old stock. You can't find fresh ones. And new old stock is for display only. And I don't understand why the hell somebody would even build a chopper that you cannot ride because the tires are 40 years old and unsafe to ride. Like, I don't get that, you know.
I think a lot of people, though, you going back to that question, they're Harleys. They're not going to be the most innovative bikes in the world. And they're going forward, but I don't think they're going forward in a pace that is keeping people interested. But, you know, everybody wants the newest and greatest. And is that really what you want? Like,
And here's the thing
is
for
everybody
me.
going to jump to a Rev Max engine when they come out? Probably not.
Well, and here's the thing that kills me about this. It's just another year of paint and colors. Go look how many years the Goldwing came out with the colors year after year. You know, the Harley tries to give you new colors, gives you something every year. There are plenty of Hondas that give you nothing for 3 years in a row. I mean, not even a paint change or a decal change. So, you know, we want to rake them over the coals for not doing enough. But if you compare what they do to a lot of the other manufacturers, and I'm not saying all, but they do a lot more than a lot of other manufacturers do. And if you look at the history of the Goldwing, they typically try to go 10 years between major upgrades on their touring Goldwing. You know, they don't drop something new for every 24 months.
That's because Harley customers won't give the company an inch. Like, they are. I mean, seriously, we are the bitchiest customers on earth. Like, oh, Harleys are too expensive. Here's a fun exercise. Have you ever adjusted for inflation? Harleys have costed exactly the same thing for 30 years. They haven't gone up
shows it
at all. Like, you can check the price of a Heritage Softail Classic in 1993 and adjust it for inflation to 2023. I guarantee it's within $200.
Yeah. There's all kinds of examples like that. And a lot of people say it's not a working man's motorcycle anymore. It's too expensive for working man. And the problem is that blue collar wages have not risen with inflation the same way white collar wages have. So the blue collar dollar doesn't go as far. And that's not Harley Davidson's fault. Right. You know, I mean, it's the reality, but it's not, you can't just blame it on them and put it on their shoulders that you can't afford one because you're in an industry that is not, you know, kept pace with inflation.
Yeah, it's a lot of complaining. I was watching the side chat today during the reveal, and I'm just trying to look at colors and see what they're doing. But it was so distracting, the freaking negativity and the trolls, and I'm just like, dude, shut the fuck up. You know, like, just trying to see the anniversary color, and all we are is whining about this, that, and the other. And I'm like, man, no one does this at Honda.
Right.
When again, like to your point, the Goldwing doesn't change for a decade. It's only available in 2 colors, and the same 2 colors are available for 5 years. Like, what, black and that same dark red, and then yellow for a couple of years, and like,
somebody put bags and a fairing on the Rebel, and it's the biggest thing since fucking sliced bread. And if Harley did that to a softail and called it a new model, Harley owners would want to drag them to a tree and hang them. They would. I mean, nothing against the Rebel. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing that they came out with the touring version, but they put literally a little fairing on the front of it and a set of saddlebags. Nothing that is, you know, astronomically difficult to do or takes a lot of R&D or anything else. And now it's the greatest thing since sliced bread for Honda Rebel fans.
And people are going crazy because that's a small displacement bike, isn't it? It's
An 1100.
That's 1100.
1100.
So
Yeah.
because I've seen a bunch of people buying them with the DCT because it's like the perfect starter bike.
I rode
And the
it.
funny thing, the reason why they're in the side chat is because they want a Harley. They
Mhm.
they either can't afford one or they're whatever. But the reason why they're there is because this is what they really want, right?
But
If
they
you
want to make
want
a
a
Harley
Honda Rebel
small if they can't
1100,
afford
go
it.
buy the damn thing and leave us alone. Like that's you know, but they don't want that, you know.
But I also think it's about priorities, right? These are the same people that are buying, you know, $8 cups of coffee at Starbucks every day. Like it's
Right.
all priority.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
buy
yeah.
$15 bottles of Jim Beam. I don't buy scotch.
Yeah.
You know, it's no matter what you want to spend your money on.
Yeah. It's yeah, it really is. I mean, and also on the Indian thing, so Satan's Child brought it up. And not to get off on the whole tangent that I had an Indian that was a piece of shit. Besides that, they have not done anything either. They took the challenge. The Challenger was new. It has significant problems. Like everyone who owns one and talks about the windshield breaks, the electronics are bad. That no. There are a lot of problems with the Challenger. The only thing they've done new in several years is put a tour pack on one and call it a different bike.
Yeah, the Pursuit. Yeah.
The Pursuit. That's it. Now the new FTR looks cool, but it's the same bike with very minor tweaks and some really cool paint.
Right.
The FTR Sport
Yeah, the Pursuit has one thing over the Challenger. Now, the new Challenger, I think, has it, or you can get it, but the Pursuit has that electronic Fox-controlled suspension.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that is actually an innovative thing that they brought with the Pursuit, and that was they debuted that with the Pursuit, and then when they came out after that and they said, oh, you can retrofit it back on the Challenger for like 2 years or whatever else.
So that's a Fox product that they just bought and put on the bike.
Well, Fox designed it for them because it's not just it's specific to Indian because it's electronically controlled in the ride command. You can set your preload weight and it'll adjust your preload electronically for whatever weight you set in the ride command. And that's innovative. I'd love to see Harley do that, you know, or come out with better suspension and stuff like that. But it's, you know, it's the best thing about the Pursuit. I rode it. The Indian dealer caught me at Bike Fest and begged me to come over and ride it. So I did. And the suspension was good. That's what I have to say about it. I rode me and somebody else. I won't say who because he knows a lot of YouTubers, but we had a conversation yesterday afternoon, and he owns an R18. He owns a Challenger, and he owns a Road Glide. And we were talking about the R18 because I rode it at Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. And I kind of allocate this to like the whole boxing sports thing. You don't get to fight the heavyweight champ without working your way up the ranks and fighting, you know, whoever's fifth and third and second. Okay. Indian is coming after Harley, everybody likes to say. Well, I hate to say it, but Honda is above Indian when it comes to sales. So they're not even ranking second place.
I buy a Honda before I buy an Indian.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd buy a BMW R18 before I buy an Indian. That's kind of the point of this conversation. I rode it.
Yeah. Agreed.
I really liked it in a lot of ways. I liked it and enjoyed it more than the Indian. So I don't think BMW, when I look at it, I don't see BMWs coming after Harley. BMW's coming after Indian. That's who they got to step on next before they can get to Harley.
Yeah.
So the issue, one of my favorite articles last year is Cycle World did Streetglide versus Chieftain versus R18 Tour. I don't know if you remember that article.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw it, I went, like, you know, like as a Harley nut, you're like, oh, this could be so bad as you're reading it. And Cycle World is not Harley friendly, right?
No.
They're always looking for someone else to be better. And at the end of the article, they were like, the Streetglide is a superior motorcycle in every way to both. Like literally, like, to see Cycle World say that, I was like, wow. So they knocked the crap out of the BMW though, because they get on them and they take them for a 5-day trip, like three riders, right? And they switch a lot and all that stuff. One of the riders' phone was actually broken by the R18
Yeah.
in the phone garage. Like, he puts it in the phone thing, and that thing shakes so much it broke his cell phone on the trip. They said that the thing is unusable because it moves so much, it vibrates your device and it'll actually break your phone. He also said the screens were unintelligible. They were so complicated. It was a million. They did it on engine, electronics, paint quality, brakes, like everything. And the streetglide won every single category. I was shocked.
Yeah. So you're talking about them. They did a comparison between the Rebel 1100, I think it was the Nightster, and the Indian Scout. And they both commented, the two guys that swapped back and forth and rode them all, both commented how the Rebel hurt their hips and stuff like that within an hour. Yet in the end, they said it was the best bike. And to me, that was really hard to swallow, because how can you say something is the best bike if you can't ride it for more than an hour without it giving you pain? You know, both of them said the same thing. Both agreed. And I get it may be better in every other way, but there are certain key things that if this is no good, then it's no good. If the bike doesn't start, I don't care what the rest of it's like. If the bike hurts me to ride it for more than an hour, it doesn't matter how great everything else is, because in the end, it's a motorcycle I can't ride.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's one of the things I liked about the one article comparing those earlier three, because there wasn't a Japanese motorcycle in there, so you knew you had a chance. Because they just always say whatever the Japanese motorcycle is better. That's just what they always do, because price, even though they say it's not, price is a huge consideration for them. Always. You know?
Well, guys, I don't mean to be a buzzkill. This is a great conversation, but I got to wrap it up. I got to work tomorrow.
Right on. I got to make a video. I got to finish it.
All right.
But
Y'all be good.
Harley missed the performance bagger category again. And they can't make a color that isn't a boomer color. That's not new. I just wanted to read it because I'm getting a kick out of the haters here. So, you know. What's the performance bagger category? Who leads that performance bagger category?
Well, anyone who's got one yellow headlight and one white headlight, but they can't explain why. And their gauges are up here for some reason on a T-bar that they can't even see the ones they got. Like, I tell you what,
that's 900 horsepower.
I
though.
Teach their own, and I know it pisses people off, and I apologize in advance. I don't get that performance bagger look. I don't get it. Like, the friggin' they look ridiculous. Like the friggin' T-bars up here and the gauges on a bracket. They just look. You took something beautiful and made it ugly.
Mm-hmm. But if Harley Davidson missed the performance bagger train, if they missed it, then who's leading it? Who's leading the performance bagger category? The Challenger? Is that your answer to that question? Is my point. Yeah, I've never heard anybody call a Honda Goldwing a performance bagger.
That's out of the box.
I guess, if you want to talk about performance bagger, if you call it a bagger, it's the K1600. You don't want to compare anything to that thing.
Yeah, that's
for horsepower.
All right, Brian needs to go.
Brian needs to go.
Yeah, we need to do this again. I appreciate it. I didn't expect this to run that long, and I'm not complaining. I need to get to bed, but I really appreciate everybody's time.
We're too old too. So we need to go home
and guys, thank you so much in the side chat for hanging out. It was so many familiar names and a lot of new names. So, guys, thank you so much, and we will see you next week. If you guys want to hang out for a second, we can. But thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
See y'all later.